Hello, everyone. I'm Eugene Marshall of Arcanist Press and Sigil Entertainment. This is Sigil Spotlight. We are a diverse community of tabletop industry creators spotlighting each other's work. This session, we're playing The Shape of Madness, a Dungeons & Dragons adventure written by some guy named me. It will be available soon on the Dungeon Masters Guild. The cover art is by Bad Moon Art Studios, and the maps are by Alita Saxon. We're also featuring two subclasses created by our players today. Your Apothecary class, featured in 5th edition horror that you developed, is on Drive-Thru RPG. That's Ishmael Alvarez's class. It is available via a link below the stream. Also a link, I think, to Arcanist Press Twitter for my thing. And then we also have Jessica Marcrum's tabaxi specific barbarian primal path, the Path of the Stray, which is available on the DM's Guild, also via a link below the stream. So before we begin, I'd like to thank Sigil Entertainment for supporting the stream and providing our overlays, Roll20 for the virtual tabletop, and Wizards of the Coast and our own creators for making today's fun possible. To make sure it stays fun, we are employing safety tools, so thanks to Brebo Sheldon, Lauren Bryant Monk, Kiana Shaw, and Monty Cook Games for providing those tools for us. See the show notes below for more info on those as well. So let's go ahead and get to know our players and characters. As I said, I'm Eugene Marshall. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. I am co-owner of Arcanist Press and lead game designer for Sigil Entertainment and the GM today. Let's go ahead and go around the crew here. Ish, would you like to begin? Oh, make sure you're not muted.
I think Ish is frozen.
Yeah, muted too. There you go.
Sorry, there's a lot over here. My name is. Can you guys see or hear me?
Yeah, you're choppy right now.
Okay. My name is Ismael Alvarez, a Lord Thorns, and I use he. Someone else.
Yeah, so why don't we give that a stream just a second to your Zoom to reconnect there or to speed up, and then I will come back to you at the end because you look like you're catching back up to us now. So, Vic, how about you go next?
Hey, my name's Vic. I go by BJ Harris professionally. They, them, he, him. I write different products and I do reviews. And I'm playing Dirk, the Warforged Grave Cleric who loves to eat things. And I'm super excited to be back with everybody today.
Yep. Glad to have Dirk back, have you steering Dirk because I was terrible at it. Jess, how about you?
Hi, I'm Jessica Marcrum. My pronouns are she, her. You might see me down in the chat as Angry Nerd Girl. And I write and produce games and sensitivity read because in the real life, I am a social worker and trauma therapist. But in my pretend life, I'm an adventure designer. And I'm playing Great Paw Battle Thumper, the kitty who lives to smash. And his pronouns are he, him.
Love it. I look forward to things being smashed today. Connor, how about you?
Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Connor Self. I go by Connor. My pronouns are he, him, and it's awesome to be here with you today. I am an adventurer writer. I do a lot of work with Dungeons & Dragons Adventurers League, and you can find my work on the DM's Guild. I also help found D8 Summit Charities, which is a 501c3 charity. We raise money for quality local causes and work with conventions to add that fundraising to their lineup. Last week, we were able to raise $10,000 through the May Days event for homeless shelters and food banks and suicide prevention. So if you were involved in any of that, thank you. I saw that Eugene donated. Thank you, Eugene. I will be playing Sildaris, the Furbolg Ranger who has a lot of heart, but very, very low confidence.
Fair. So How about we try once more? Ish, it looks like you've caught back up with us. Do you want to tell us about yourself and Anthemina?
I'm hoping so.
Yes.
Yes. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you, yeah. Your video is just a little slow, but I think, yeah, the audio is okay.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, okay, so my name is Ishmael Alvarez, aka Ish. I use he, him pronouns. I do a lot of writing for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy, and so on. Today I will be playing against investigator Apothecary, who uses a kind of magic that seems a little bit more like old-timey science.
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing her at work, because there's lots of things that'll be worthy of investigating here today. All right, so speaking of, why don't I go ahead and give a quick recap, unless somebody else would like to. Does anybody here feel like they want to recap what happened last week, or shall I?
I can do it.
Yay. Go ahead and give it a shot.
So we, and this will be a great pause recap. So we were hired to go into a place by some dwarves for money and adventure, and mostly adventure. And on the way, we passed a nest that was full of griffinlets that were gone, and there was a really beautiful feather. And Sildaris ended up putting it in his hat. And that took me a minute, but it was really beautiful feather. And then we went inside. Oh, it's a mine. The Friendly Dwarves Mine, I believe, is what it's called. And we got below, and there were statues to mining gods. And Sildaris met up with his frog friend. And we made a new frog friend, and I challenged a giant to a duel and showed that giant who was boss. It was me, Great Paw Battle Thumper.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
And then we found a magical door that could not be opened with axe, but Anthemina cleverly figured out that it went to... with a special key, and we found the entrance, and it was full of tables with things to smash and tools, and there was a statue that did not like what we had to say, but luckily he was also quite smashable. And then just to make sure the room or the mine itself was clear, we went to check things out, and there were a few rats. I was not permitted to remove them because there was ooze on the ceiling and jelly, and not the kind that is good on toast. So we vanquished a jelly. I believe there's still an ooze. And onward down a stair awaits.
Bravo. So there you go. The short version there for Vic, since you were here last week, is simply that you were hired by the Black Helm family of dwarves to reclaim a lost mine that belonged to the family long ago, and is said, they believed, according to family lore, to have a vast vein of adamantine in it. So if indeed that it does, it could be worth tens of thousands of gold pieces. They hired you to first locate it and determine that it's their family's one, and the characters discovered that indeed it must belong to Carindor Blackhelm, because there was records left behind that named him. The second task was to clear it out and make sure it's safe for the Blackhelms to return. So you looked around and discovered that the first floor of this place had become basically a natural cave, and a particular kind of giant, a two-headed giant, an Etin, had taken up a layering in the place. And they discovered that there was a strange magical door that had not been opened for many centuries, that you were all able to figure out how to open, because you discovered the shiny disc that magnetically snaps into place in a certain spot on the door and opens it. And you then ventured in, finding what was basically their vault, empty, alas, of riches at the moment, but there's the stair down to the mine itself. There was fighting to be had here and there, but those were the key factors. So you now descend deeper into the mine. A couple relevant clues. Your task there is to clear the place, make it safe for the Black Helms to return. But there's also been some strange talk about, for example, that Carindor Blackhelm, near the end of his tenure running this mine, hired or brought in some new tireless worker class of people that kind of replaced the dwarves that were mining with them. But then they had to flee for some reason. And when the party was getting ready to leave, so they saw, or rather, when the session was ending, they were heading down the stairs, and they saw a strange figure that looks like this, hovering around in the stairwell. So.
He looks so sad.
Yes. We switch to the character overlay, and we now resume our game. So, you're in the Lost Mine of Carindor Blackhelm. You have cleared the first area, which has been open to the elements for centuries. Giant toads, snakes, rats.
Well, thank you for subscribing. Sorry, stuff flew all over the screen. I got excited.
Wasn't just you. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, see, I'm not looking at the Twitch chat right now, so I'm looking at your beautiful faces on Zoom, because that's what brings me joy. Subscribers do too, I won't lie. Okay, but, you know. All right, so you've entered into Carindor Blackhelm's mine. You've cleared the kind of natural dangers and threats that have taken up residence in this, basically, mountain cave. And found a door at the back of it that descends deeper into the mine. And there's some suggestion that something strange... Yeah, I see that. Our frames are off now, because there's Ish. Fantastic. So that something strange is going on down there. So let's see if Ish is able to get a better connection when he connects to audio, which should be just a moment. Because it would be such a shame. How you doing, Ish?
I think I'm back. I think I'm better. I'm trying to tweak a few things to make sure that I don't drop again. I apologize.
Sure. I'm glad you do sound and look fine now. So yeah, any other processes going on, you'll want to close. And if you've got roommates that are like currently streaming, I don't know, whatever it is that's, 4K Netflix shows or something. Mm-hmm. They're watching the She-Ra finale, which I just watched a couple days ago and was so happy. You might want to ask him to pause it for an hour. Yeah, right? Chef's kiss for that.
I am so beautiful.
I'm hoping I won't have to, but I may. Okay. I may go out there and tell them. We'll see how things progress.
Tell them that I'll run a game of D&D for them if they behave. All right. That's all I got to offer right now. But okay, so you're descending now. Let me get you, since this is our lovely. This is the cover.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it right off.
Yeah. So here's the actual image if you want to see what the cover is going to look like when it comes out in a week or two.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah. So that's
God, I love that.
The cover art's by Bad Moon Art Studio, and Amy Marshall, my partner, did the layout there. So I'm pretty pumped about that. We're just doing the last of the layout, and it'll go up in a week or two. All right, I got distracted. I see those particular individuals as Modrons, and I get all starry-eyed and distracted. All right, we will move to one of Alita's maps, so people at home can get a kind of glimpse of what this whole strange place looks like. But our friends, they can't see that. I'll let you know what they can see. Zooming in up here, they can only see this. Oh, well, Dirk can't see anything because he doesn't have dark vision. So remind me who had lit torches. Somebody had. Several of you had, because many of you don't have black. Yes, so Sildaris, you had a light, because this is the tokens from the default tokens for your characters. So Sildaris has just brought light. Well, Milo is not here today. So all right, that everyone can see now thanks to Sildaris's light. If another one of you wants to light something, let me know.
I believe there was discussion also that we would take a short rest.
Yes.
Before we proceeded further.
So I see that your hit points, some of you are still down. Sildaris in particular, you got thumped by the crumbling stone dwarven stone golem that was in the vault. Fortunately, it was...
My jaw is still mostly intact, you know.
Yeah. Fortunately, it was crumbling from age, and some sort of strange magical effect was disrupting or interfering with its form. So it was crumbly, like punching dry sandstone, kind of crumbly sandstone, but it still packed a wallop. So go ahead and roll hit dice if you like. You will have taken a short rest in the intervening time, and everyone who refreshes short rest abilities gets those back, like, I don't know, action surge and such. So while you're tabulating your hit points,
I need a long rest for my rage to come back.
Well, you can take a long rest if you want. This is
It's not a bad idea.
It's your oyster. You tell me.
Were we put on a timetable? Do we have to go to the bottom of the mine quickly? Is there somebody in danger?
I would like a nap.
The tabaxi would like a tabaxi nap. And no, there was, you were not told about any survivors or victims or any timetable. It was simply to clear the place and make it safe for the Black Helms once you've determined that this is indeed the lost mine. And it is, or evidence suggests as much.
You can sleep. I can watch. Just meditate and watch the whole thing.
All right. So,
I can accurately remember.
Accurately remember what?
If I lost any hit points, I guess it wouldn't matter if we do a long rest because I just get them all back, so we should be good.
Okay. So, all right. So you choose to take a long rest. Where are you resting? In the vault? Behind the sealed magical door at the top of the stairs? Or are you going to go back out into the natural cave?
So, Doris, what do you think? Will your frogs protect us with Dirk?
I don't know. They can be kind of moody. You know, frogs.
Yes.
One day you're their friend, the next day you're in their mouth. It's kind of one of those. So maybe we should just stay over here where it's drier.
Then let's stay in the room with the stone man against whom we have triumphed.
All right. So I'll move you back there.
Yeah, the stone man, yeah.
Once it's loaded there, you're back in the vault. So just to remind everybody what this looks like. So you're in what is effectively a vault where the products of the dwarven mining operations were stored. There are tables, there are bins, but there's just some kind of gravel, scree, loose rock, the occasional sliver of something that looks like a semi-precious stone, the occasional copper coin, but it looks like whatever was in here has been cleared out long ago. 4 massive pillars stand in this hall. It's 50 feet wide and a low ceiling, maybe 20 feet. And there to the right, there is a pedestal that is now empty because there had been a stone dwarven statue on it that stepped off after you entered and engaged you. For a moment, you almost convinced it that you belonged there by speaking dwarvish, but it was looking for a name that was not used, so you had to fight it. And that name being, of course, Carindor Blackhelm. But the crumbling stone golem defeated, you rest. And what do you know? With the magical door out front closed, and you in possession of the key. Now, the key is a kind of a metallic disc, about this wide, about this thick, and it is magnetic. Well, I don't know exactly what your characters might think of it, but when held near the door, it kind of almost leapt out of your, I think it was Anthamina who was handling it, out of her hand and kind of clunked into place, and then air escaped from the crack down the middle of what looked to be almost like a solid wall of iron and brass, and then it slowly swung open on some hidden hinges. That door is now closed again, up at the end of the hall, and at the top of the stair, you rest. Nothing. There are doors there too that you can choose to close if you like. And fortunately, the night passes without incident. And, or at least you think it's night. You've been inside now for many hours. You awake the next morning, and then I'll move you back to the other map, to descend. All right. So, sorry if I'm making your browsers work by reloading all this, but here we are.
No worries.
Also, it gave me a chance to show off the map from the first level to the audience at home. All right, so you descend the stairs. There's a short hallway that turns at a landing, or the stairs turn at a landing and end at a short hallway. So feel free to. I'll remind you that this is for fun. We're doing this one very map and mini focused because I've got this map I like so much. Is one reason. So feel free to just move your tokens southward into the darkness, and we'll see what you see. You see what your characters see, or your characters see what you can see on the screen. Okay, so Great Paw, go ahead and stop, and I'll describe.
There's a room.
There's a room. So the hallway opens up into a semi-spherical room. So it looks like a dome, right? It's a perfectly circular dome with a flat floor. The floor is level with the hallway you're in, but the walls and ceiling kind of go up to about 40 feet high and wide. On the far side of the room is kind of shrouded in darkness, so you're not really able to see what's over there. But let me describe this pillar in the middle. It has 4 grotesque dwarven faces, each about 4 feet off the ground, one facing you, and then, well, you think let's say you only see 3. One facing you and 2 facing to the sides. And they're just kind of going like that. Floating a few feet off the ground, bumping into the wall over here, where I'm pinging, is that strange spherical winged biomechanical creature that you saw. Well, maybe it's the same one. It's always hard to tell. These things are very alien looking, and it's just bumping into the wall with its back to you. Dunk, dunk. Its little wings flapping, dunk. Its arms and legs hanging limply. Oh, let me check something real quick before anything else happens. What is everyone's passive perception? Let's see, 14 for Anthamina. Sildaris might have something higher. 15, perhaps?
Great Paw
15.
has 14.
14. And Dirk is...
13.
13, okay. All right. So... All right. So as you enter the room, Sildaris, it looks like there's something strange with the floor in front of Great Paw. It looks like the stone there is slightly different than the stone in the rest of the room. So there's like a little aisle of stone, but right in front of Great Paw, all the way up leading to the pillar.
Does Great Paw's danger sense kick in?
Nothing to respond to. What has happened, Great Paw? I have seen no danger. What are you talking about? I'm just describing a discolored tile. What's the... Mm-hmm. You clearly have never been in my house. Discolored tile is quite normal.
Is that a nice DM way of saying not yet?
Not yet. That is exactly what that is. But I'm just pointing something out that Sildaris notices because Sildaris is an observant soul.
Sildaris will lean over to Great Paw and go,
Look at that.
Do you see it?
The thing flapping into the wall, yeah.
No. Well, yes, but no.
So say, how could you not see it? It's just banging into the wall. Ethamina, look at this.
I have no clue what that abomination is. No, I'm talking about the floor.
Why do you have to call it an abomination?
Dirk, do you know this thing?
Do you think I know everything that kind of looks mechanical like me?
That was a bad assumption on my part.
Do I know anything about Momo Drum?
Well, this is one of those where I'll allow you to roll, but even if you roll well, I'd be curious to know what the story is, how you would know about extraplanar beings like monodrones, which is what that is. the lowest form of Modron for those following at home.
What should it be? History, Arcana, or religion, or?
Probably not religion. What's your alignment? This is rather. You're Kelemvor, so lawful neutral.
I'm true neutral.
True neutral.
My personal alignment. But...
Okay, cool. Pick your, if you choose the flavor. It'll just determine how I describe what you know or don't know, right? If it's Arcana, it'll be Arcana-y. Ooh, you'll know something about magical effects or biomechanical magic. If it's history, you'll remember reading a tale about the Great Modron March that happened centuries ago. You know, that sort of thing.
I'm gonna go with Arcana.
All right. Natural 20. Okay, so...
See, I was right to ask you.
Yeah, bad assumption, but in this case, it just happens.
It's not wrong, but...
Yeah, exactly. So, well, you tell me, Dirk, what... Well, let me... I'll allow you, if you want, Vic, to tell me how much Dirk knows. If you don't know that much about Modrons or want me to answer, I will, but I'll leave it to you. And I'd be curious to know how you know that. It's on
Okay,
you.
so here's how I know what I'm about to know. So after my creator died, which anybody that was watching one of the previous streams know Dirk was responsible for in one way or another. Dirk was in a slump. Anybody else that I think Dirk was having a major depressive episode because his one and only family member had died in a very traumatic way, and then the only thing that brought him out was he started reading up about other warforgeds to try and find a larger community to be a part of, and then that branched off into other construct things that you could create, which took him down a small path of reading up on constructs, which are and then that branched off into another path of modrons and at large. So what he knows is he kind of likes to think they're kind of like him, biomechanical, which isn't wrong, but they're unlike he knows that while he can go about and do whatever he wants, they have a very set goal, they have their own language. He might know about a magical effect or two of one of the stronger, or either of the stronger ones or the weakest ones, but not anything in between. I don't think he would have retained that information since that's not what he was looking for. And he would know that they're from the plane of Mechanus. Am I saying that right? Mechanus?
One of those, yeah.
Okay, and he would know that. But that's the scope of his information.
All right. So there you go. So Dirk does, in fact, know a little bit about Modrons, and the monodrone, this creature probably being one of the lowest ones. You're oh, yes, I've read. And
so Dirk just kind of sighs and just you shouldn't assume just because we're both this that I would know something. However, I do know something.
I apologize for my bad assumption, but I'm glad that it worked out. Also, I'm realizing that Dirk is like Edward Scissorhands a little bit.
I've never watched that movie fully through. I get some of the cultural references, but I don't.
Fair.
Edward Scissorhands was made by Vincent Price, and then Vincent Price basically died right before he was finished.
Oh.
So that made me think of Dirk.
So that's 2 Johnny Depp movies that we can reference now.
But I don't think he's supposed to be floating around like that. Something's wrong.
I kind of feel bad for it. It looks like it's not quite right. But you know what else looks not quite right? That tile over there on the floor. I'm going to bring it back to your attention and say, don't step there.
Anthemina would have been investigating it during this entire discourse.
Yes, please roll investigation.
All right, 21.
That's how I do the difference between those two for traps. Perception notices, investigation understands. So, Sildaris pointed out that the floor is a little discolored there, and you take a knee and examine it, and you can see that there is a millimeter difference in height between that stone and the stones to their left and right, and just where you're standing. And the seams, there's a hairline in the kind of a grouting in between the tiles there of a break that suggests that the the tile in front of you could be depressed if stepped on. And you suggest with a 21, sounds like a classic trap.
I do have proficiency in thieves' tools. Could I try and disarm it?
Yes, you could. And in fact, with that investigation check, you believe that wedging an iron spike or some other object under the edge of the tile would prevent it from depressing when you step on it. Or, less complicatedly, you could just step diagonally and not step on the colored tile.
Right.
Like if you, in fact, stood where you are and you walked around like the perimeter of the room, it looks like you wouldn't step on that. Because you know what? And now that it's been called to your attention, you look over and the dwarven faces looking left and right have a discolored strip in front of each of them as well. But the perimeter of the room, if you walk the circle, you're safe.
Are you sure, Antamina, that we should be disabling the dwarves' defense system?
You think those faces
I
are
suppose
hungry?
not.
Are we supposed to walk up
But if
and
we-
just stick an orange in the mouth?
I wouldn't recommend it.
No. Let's find out what happens. Maybe it works.
I would like to try and
Perhaps.
throw some rations into one of
I
the
will
mouths.
perceive from back here.
Okay. So
I will follow suit.
go ahead and make athletics checks if you'd like to throw.
Yay!
If you'd like to throw something, see if you can get it in the mouth, right? We're taking a shot here.
Athletics. I'm okay at that.
From
How'd
way
I do?
downtown.
Not super great.
Oh.
Oh, is this like a game from a carnival?
Yes.
And
Yes, it is.
and I'll Siddharth will take a piece of fruit out, and he'll kiss it, and say, "You'll do good for me, right?" And
See, what you don't know is that actually this place is a fun house. So if you get it in the mouth, you get the prize, the fluffy floating Modron on the wall. Yeah. No.
is it stuffed?
There you go.
I don't know. I have to ask it if it's eaten recently.
Oh.
A natural 1. Okay.
A 7.
A 7. So all the ones. All right. So for fun and all right. So as you're throwing it, you get distracted by something that you realize you didn't notice before, which is that directly on the floor underneath your feet, there's the subtlest hint of charring, like soot. And as the orange strikes the pillar right in the forehead of that creature, good throw, not in the mouth, it then falls and hits the discolored tile right in front of it. And you hear a click, and because you guys are right at the end of it and you're all looking at it, you're able to just step back. But a gout of flame shoots out of the dwarven mouth and extends to right about where Sildaris and Great Paul are standing. Just exactly, in fact, the length of the discolored tile.
So it likes cooks food.
I think that's a fair assumption.
Yes.
Well, now we know what happens.
Is this why the tile is discolored? Did the fire do this? I don't know much about architecture.
I believe so.
Now, if you'd like to go around the perimeter, we should be safe. But I do want to let you know that if we had come out here to have fun, I would have stayed home to knit.
Is
Knitting
knitting not fun,
Is
Edwina?
apparently. No, it is the most fun that you could have. But this is not time for fun. This is not
you've
time
got
for knitting.
all of yarn.
No.
I don't follow.
Oh, no. You didn't bring one with you? Okay.
Be kind, Great Paul. Antamina is a woman of very delicate sensibilities.
Delicate. I don't know that I would describe it that way.
Around the perimeter, then.
Very well. So the Modron continues to float, the monodrone to be precise, about 3 or 4 feet off the ground, and it's relatively small. Creature. Its sphere is like yay big, and it just kind of bumps, and it doesn't seem to pay you any mind as you approach. And
Right.
now that you're that close, you can hear it's mumbling something.
What is it?
I'm guessing it's in a language you don't speak, namely
Yeah.
Momo Drum.
Hello then.
And the sound of its voice, it sounds a little bit like if you've ever put your ear up against a clockwork cuckoo clock. You know, like you hear the spring slowly unwinding and the gears slowly turning. That's what it comes out of its mouth sounding like. Except it's strangely erratic, like a broken metronome? Yeah, metronome. Like strangely off kilter.
Anthamina will attempt to speak Dwarven to it, just on the off chance that the dwarves had taught it how to understand Dwarven.
And what do you say in Dwarvish?
What are you doing?
Okay.
In a little bit of a...
So it bumps into the wall. It's speaking in Modron to itself. Oh, hold on here. What's this? Okay. And when you speak in Dwarvish, it for just a moment it stops, and it just pivots in the air like this, and then it resumes speaking. But now it's speaking in Dwarvish, banging against the wall, dunk, dunk, and it says, Primus deduces, bzz, Master Gaiax compels, beep boop, must keep the heavenly solids clean, even more perfect shapes, bzz, and then just repeats that.
I'll relay that to everyone who doesn't speak Dwarvish.
I still
don't know
follow.
how to make sense of it.
Could you try one more time, Anthamina? What was that again?
Heavenly solids.
Yes.
It was someone compels, and someone... Shoot, I should have written that down.
So it happens to be repeating it, like a broken record. So simply listening again will determine that it is somebody named Primus. Primus deduces. And Dirk, you know that name because you said you know the bottom and the top of the Mechanus hierarchy, which are Monodrones and Primus, which is the first.
Mm-hmm.
He's the god of the plane of Mechanus. He's the lawful neutral god. So Primus deduces, but Master Gaiax compels. And then it says, it must keep the heavenly solids clean, ever more perfect shapes.
Can I try speaking to it in Celestial? I just want to see if it'll respond.
Sure.
Are you all right, little one?
Alas, it does not respond. It acts as though it either doesn't hear you or doesn't understand that language. I'm not sure.
Primus. Huh. Shouldn't be surprised. Where there are Modrones, there's always Primus involved some way or another.
What's a perfect shape? Besides these fists I mean. And then Great Paw shows off the guns.
Heavenly shapes, indeed. Heavenly solids. There it was. Oh, and you can see at this point that there is a hallway leaving this spherical room.
Anthamina is
on the other side. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Anthamina is asking this monodrone again and trying to see why this of you're bumping into things. That seems to be not logical if you are in fact a creature of logic.
Unfortunately, it seems to be stuck like a broken record and keeps repeating that. And it's alternating now between Dwarvish and a language you don't understand. The one that sounds like clockwork noises, which you intuit is probably its native tongue.
I think it's broken. And I'm just gonna bat it like you do a TV.
Don't do that. That's not nice.
It is, if you've ever seen those creepy ass videos of Boston Dynamics robots which are those like 4-legged dog walking robots that the
Oh
robotic
yeah, like the Ibo or something.
the robotics designers, engineers, like will kick them really, really hard to test that they can like regain their balance. It's kind of does that sort of thing. It's this like creepy, unnatural. Because let me describe. If you don't know, let me describe what a Momo Drum looks like up close. It is biomechanical, so it literally seems to be made of a combination of like brass and flesh. So, which is, like if you look, it's at its, here's the picture once more. So it's like a sphere, an orb of brass with brass wings, but seemingly natural feathers, brass arms and legs, but it's got a face and an eye and some big fleshy lips that are flesh. Yeah. And like a little lens, that it can move around and stuff. But it just goes like, woo. Kind of slowly regains itself.
Hold on. Maybe it knows something that we don't. It probably does know things that we don't.
I just wish there was a way that
So Darce
we
will look
could
at the
figure
wall.
that out.
So Darce will look at the wall where it's bumping into.
Oh my god, that was so many rolls that just happened. What is going on?
What is going on?
Dirk had an
me?
explosion of language proficiency rolls.
I think I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did.
Well, you got a natural 20 in there. That's cool.
That's
Dirk just
awesome.
spoke all the languages.
I did. I know everything. I am one with the.
You were absolutely certain it's speaking Modron, and you even think it's saying the same thing in Modron that it said in Dwarvish. The place on the wall though is there is a stain there, and it's the only place in this room where the walls don't seem to be clean.
Does it appear to be a stain because it's being bumped into over and over again by a Modron? Like, is it an oil stain or a dent? Not a dent, but you know what I mean.
No, it looks more like it looks more like dried blood.
Antamina,
Ooh.
Yes.
you're the smart one. What do you make it is?
I would presume that it is upset that the wall is not clean. Maybe if we cleaned it, something would happen.
I tried tinkering with it.
Yeah, you can try to make a tinker's check. You could make it into wisdom, into insight check to see if you can understand what its motives are. You can try to clean the wall. You could ignore it. You can bat it out of the air again.
And Antamina will attempt to clean the wall.
Let's try that first before I go
Oh,
messing
that's
around
good.
in its head.
All right. So I won't make you roll to clean. That's not a skill we need to worry about in D&D. I do enough of that in my regular life. I don't need to do it in my play life. So yeah, with a little elbow grease, you're able to wipe off a kind of oily smudge of bloody grime. And when it's gone, the creature stops banging its head into the wall and then just slowly pivots away and then just begins to float in a circle around the room. As though, it's patrolling for dirt.
Is it still saying the same thing?
It's muttering, but it now seems to be saying less. It's now saying, and if you wait and for it to come past and listen carefully, because it's kind of whispering to itself, it just is saying, Primus deduces, Master Gaiax compels.
Someone grab it the next time it comes around.
Ooh.
On it.
It goes around and around it goes in a perfect circle until it
grab
gets
it.
here, and you grab it, and then you can feel that it's like slowly trying to tug away. But it seems unaware of you. It's almost like it's catatonic yet flying around here and muttering to itself.
Grandpa's just like holding it in his
Thank you.
fluffy arms.
I start looking around at it. Does it have any sort of like a latch or something I could unscrew and get into its insides, or like some type of opening somewhere where I could just look at its like little guts and stuff to see if there's something I can fix on the inside?
So, not immediately, but let's go ahead and make an investigation check.
Fingers crossed. Come on, Dirk.
Is this thing alive? Because this seems mean
Yes.
to do to a living creature. Like, I would not, like,
It is
someone
as
going in-
alive as I am, but it might be broken the way I can be broken.
So if you start muttering and bashing your head in the wall, you want me to grab you and have Antamina dig around in your brain.
If Antamina is versed in my biology, I would not be adverse to someone trying to fix me. I also rolled a 10.
Yes. All right. So you look at it, and it looks like.
And regrettably, I am not versed in such things.
It looks like it's been like it's plates of brass that have been riveted, and then it's got these large kind of bolts in its top of its head. So it doesn't look like it has an easily accessible hatch, but it looks like you could take it apart. But looking at its face and eye, it also looks like the flesh and metal are kind of integrated in one another in a way that might be. It's not like it's wearing something. You know what I mean? It would be like taking off the carapace of a exoskeletal creature, like a crab shell, which would mean ouch.
This is the first time I've been up and close and personal with one. All my other ones have been like illustrations, which I don't think have done it enough justice.
Yeah, they're weird, surprisingly fleshy face, which is.
And as I look at the fleshy bits, I'm like, actually, let's just leave it be. It has more flesh than I do. This could get more complicated, and I'd hate to hurt it.
Do you continue to hold it, or are you gonna let it go?
You want me to rip its face off?
No!
So you can get a better look?
No! Would you want your face ripped off?
No, but I'm not biomechanical.
Okay, but the bio part is flesh. Like you.
So I should put it down?
Yes. Thank you for your assistance.
So I'll release it.
Okay, so as you do, it just slowly, it's as though nothing was going on. And so it just continues to slowly orbit the room.
Onward, I suppose.
You want down too? Okay.
There you go. You release the Momo
I've released the Momo Drum.
And it slowly hovers away. And as you continue to walk around the circular form of the room, or the circular perimeter of the room, you can see the discolored strips on the floor and are able very easily to avoid them because they don't actually go all the way to the wall or the hallway. There's, a 10-foot circle on the outside. And that's easy to follow now that you know what you're looking for. You enter a hallway beyond, and just like the sphere you were standing in before, it is just perfectly smooth. This is masterful dwarven craftsmanship. These are perfectly square, symmetrical stones that have been inlaid on the floor, walls, and ceiling so well that they're almost absolutely seamless. In fact, like I said, it required Anthemina's sharp eye to even see the gaps between the stones, right? So this is just perfect craftsmanship. And the hallway beyond, similar, is again perfectly impeccably clean and dust free. It is a bit dark. Let's see here. Boop. All right. And the hallway is there are no lights except those you've brought with you, and Great Paw, of course, has no problem with that. And you are walking down the hallway, and you see it extends to the south. It now turns. What would you like to do?
As we're walking down the hallway, Soldaris will saddle up to Dirk and say, Dirk, I have to apologize. I might have said something that bothered you earlier. And you get the sad doe eyes. When I called the creature an abomination, you're not an abomination. And it's not an abomination either. I learned that the old faith tells us that things of metal are unnatural. But you're as natural as anything else I've ever seen. And I'm really sorry. I'll be better. I promise.
And Dirk will I will turn and hug Soldaris. If he'll let me, I'll just.
Somebody's going in for a hug with Soldaris.
Yep, I'm gonna hug Soldaris.
This is how Soldaris rolls. This is the language.
It's all right. I'm used to it, but you're learning.
All right.
I'll just pat Soldaris on the back. Just It's all right.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I forgive you. Next time we're fighting.
Goes from sadness to complete worry.
And then
you can't see it because we're hugging. Everybody else will be like,
no. So he gets done hugging you, and it's like, it's okay. And then he's like, come, like, you can see the joke, the playfulness on his face, and he's like, next time we're fighting.
Still the same worry.
He claps you on the back and just keeps walking.
Okay.
All right, so Sildaris, as you step out of the spherical room, you'll notice there's a strange little lip. It's about an inch tall at the edge of the room, as though matching perfectly. It's like kind of arced, like it's the edge, like it marks a perfect circle that room depicted, right? And so you kind of step over that, and you notice there's one all the way around the wall and the ceiling too, right? It's like just a 1-inch lip of stone, right?
I'm no expert in such odd philosophies, but perfect shapes, like, do you think they're referring to things like circles or squares, or I don't know. Math is hard.
What's perfect about a circle?
Well, it's really hard to do right, and so in order to do it well, you have to use like tools. You can't just take your hand and draw it on the ground.
Why would you draw a circle on the ground?
It's a druid thing, trust me.
Mm.
Antamina, you're the smart one.
You keep saying that.
It hasn't stopped being
It's true.
But I do believe that we will be very well faced with a number of geometrical puzzles.
Geometrical puzzles.
Along, so be on guard.
All right, be on guard.
Well, this hallway looks pretty
I
big.
do believe that there is something to the perfect shapes. Yes, and watch your feet. I'm hoping that there are no more of the dangerous traps that we had just encountered.
Yes, so speaking of those, why don't we stop moving? So, Sildaris, so Great Paw has gone ahead, and Sildaris, you're walking around the corner, and you look south, and thanks to the fact you have a torch, you're actually casting where Great Paw is, it's dim light, but when you first round the corner, I'm going to go ahead and move your tokens back just a moment to when something important happened. You're about here, and Great Paw is here, and you come around the corner, and Great Paw is just walking down the hallway in the dim light, and you get a glimmer of reflection off of a surface right in front of Great Paw. It is a floor-to-ceiling, perfectly transparent surface, almost like a pane of glass.
Oh, no.
That Great Paw does not see due to the fact that he steps right into it.
Ah, no!
So let's go ahead and roll initiative. And for those,
Danger sense! Danger sense!
yes, we will definitely adjudicate that. And for those watching at home, and you too, friends, that's what just showed up.
Oh, God.
No!
Sorry. All right, so
I'm not hurt yet. I can get away.
yes, you can. That's definitely a chance. So in case you're wondering what just happened, there's the ye olde rule on that one, the transparent. And the fact that you have that Sildaris is the only one with a 15, you'll notice there, is relevant.
Oh, it said nothing was sent? Let's try that again. Why?
That's weird.
It keeps saying you wanted to send the results of
You might
this
have to click
token
on
to
your-
the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
Well, I rolled for you, if that helps.
Thank you.
Oh, is it something weird? Because I can actually move all of your tokens.
Yeah, when I first set this up, I just gave them all players because you hadn't all joined the game. That way,
Gotcha,
I didn't have
gotcha.
to like approve you as like add you and all that. So,
Gotcha.
let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, thank you. You rolled better initiative than I rolled for myself.
Well, you're welcome. So it's fortunate given that you are the one that's stepping into the mess. All right. So Sildaris, so here's what happens though. We do have to adjudicate the fact that you are stepping into, you are a creature that tried to enter the cube space while unaware of the cube. You are thus surprised by the cube, Great Paw. But Sildaris, you can still act. Great Paw is going to be surprised, namely standing there, vulnerable to the gelatinous cube for its first turn.
Getting there, being devoured.
Engulfed, perhaps. We'll see. It's early days yet. So, Sildaris, what would you like to do? You see Great Paw just walking right into this giant jello cube. You actually can barely see what it is. It's just this shimmer of a transparent or translucent surface. Shiny.
Sildaris sees and doesn't have time and can't get there and only can react. And so Sildaris will throw up his staff and scream, "No!" Just the word no. And an explosion of glitter from the staff. And a wall of thorns goes up between Great Paw and the gelatinous cube. Hopefully Great Paw won't walk into it.
All right. So tell me about this wall of thorns. Is there a...
It is, I will show you. It is one of the weird little abilities from the Staff of the Woodlands.
Yes.
That a lot of people don't know about or use. But you're able to create a wall of thorns as per the spell.
Wow. All right. So, yeah, I guess so. And
That staff is one of my favorite magical items.
so I guess it's been a while since I've thought about this. So let's say you have a magic item that allows you to cast a spell that is a higher level than you would normally have spell slots for. You can still cast it.
I would have to use charges from the wand.
Yep.
Or charges from the staff.
So you're using the staff's charges. You can still, no roll is needed though. It's not like when you use a scroll that's above your level. Okay, cool. Well, fantastic. Right. So that means, so I've got the language of the spell right up here. You create a wall of tough, pliable, tangled brush, bristling with needle-sharp thorns. You put the wall, it blocks line of sight within each of the areas. So they're really close to each other. So I guess you're going to have to... But you get to place it. Okay, so you're going to put it right on the gelatinous cube then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so the gelatinous cube is going to have to make a save.
Right. And it's only... And that gelatinous cube is going to burn right through that thing. Because they dissolve all things organic.
Right.
But I just hope I buy Great Paw some moments to step back before she becomes cat skeleton.
Yes.
Well, I also have to make a save.
Well,
No.
it depends where he places it.
I'm not going to put it in your square.
Yeah, so as long as he if he puts it like a little ahead of you, then yeah.
I'm putting it a little ahead of you, which is where the gelatinous
The cube is.
Right, and so I'm assuming the staff is DC 15, is that right?
I believe so. Okay. Sounds about right.
Well, it probably doesn't matter because the gelatinous cube is not a dexterous being. A 10 is actually really good for it. It has a -4, but
Wow.
Still not high enough. All right, so it takes 7d8 piercing damage, or half as much on a successful save. It is going to take all of that damage. So if you could go ahead and roll that 7d8, we'll see how much you gave, what much of an ouchie you just gave it, because that's an ouchie right there, folks. 32 points. Holy cow. All right. So this wall of thorns erupts, right? So you, Great Paw, are walking along, and then you hear Sildaris say, "No," and then some sort of sparkle explodes. It kind of momentarily flashes and illuminates the hallway. And actually in the flash, you see a weird reflection right in front of you, almost like you're looking in a mirror. And then right in front of you, all of a sudden, there's first an eruption of wooden thorns just out of nowhere. Fills the whole hallway, and you now can see, agitated by these thorns, there's a giant jello cube in front of you that's just been shredded up, that is now like being squished at you, and it looks like its form has been badly damaged.
I hate this place. Thanks, Solaris.
Anthamina, it's your turn. Are you frozen or delayed? Oh no. Ish is not having good network today.
Oh.
So we can't.
Might be delayed.
There you are. You were
Can you hear
delayed.
me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, that's like a good 20 count.
I can hear you.
There it is. So you are delayed by about 20 seconds. So how about this? Go ahead and declare all of your move if you can in one go. Thank you. That's a great. Just rolling is also welcome. See, now I can see that you're back again. Okay, frustrating. All right, so thank you. You're going to go ahead and shoot. I will adjudicate those rolls, and then we will come back to you. If you want to momentarily, because you're the last person to join the Zoom chat, you can like drop and rejoin, and it doesn't mess up. Yeah. So there's some bad weather happening across the country. So hopefully, yeah, no problem. All right. So just let me know if you need to, or go ahead if you need to drop and come back so you can work on that. All right. So I will go ahead and adjudicate that.
Did a lot of damage with a crossbow, though.
Yeah. All right. So while Sildaris has created this eruption of thorns that fills the hallway and shreds the back of this gelatinous cube that now is vibrating violently right in your face, Great Paw, Anthamina whips out the crossbow, aims, thunks an arrow or a crossbow bolt rather right into its form with a bloop sound. Whoops. And there we go. And all right, it is now Great Paw. It is your turn. This creature, this thing, is about to surge forward towards you.
Don't like it.
What would you like to do?
Well, I'm trying to figure out if Great Paw is smart enough to apply the knowledge from his encounter with the ooze that it destroyed his weaponry and hurt him physically, to realize that might also apply to this creature. And I don't know if he's that bright. Like, I know that will happen, but I don't know if he knows that will happen. So I'm just trying to figure out which weapon he would use to attack.
Feel free to make an intelligence check if you want to leave it to randomness.
Oh, he's so dumb. Sure, let's do it.
What do you say? DC 10? Kind of like a coin toss with your minus there? Right?
Oh, just made it. Okay, so he's going to use his already kind of messed up hand axe. The one that the last thingy, the ooze took a bite out of, and throw it. And but how hurt does this thing look? Let me see. It looks pretty hurt, right?
It does. It looks pretty hurt, yes.
I'm trying to determine if I want to rage. Rage was not terribly helpful against oozy attacks. So since he remembers that's just going to make a regular attack.
All right. The thing is, you're swinging at like a wall in front of you. It's almost impossible to miss.
Mm-hmm.
So you hit on that strike.
Yay!
Some busted hand axe. All right.
I renamed it busted because it took a damage.
So it takes 6 slashing from that.
Yay! And then I do it again.
Yes.
Because I'm not throwing it. I'm just hitting it with a hand axe.
And that's another hit, even with a 10. Those hit.
Sweet.
So the hand axe, and actually the gelatinous cube, as you strike it, you realize that this material is a little bit different than the black pudding or whatever you fought upstairs.
Okay.
Because when you strike this creature, it doesn't actually seem to do damage to your weapon in the same way. It looks like the thing could swallow you up and hurt you, but just slashing into it does not, in fact, seem to harm you or the weapon.
Well,
You're
that's
just slicing jello. So,
I like this better than the thing upstairs.
And it as you slash at it, it just kind of it wiggles like you're slashing jello. It's like bloop, bloop, bloop. Seems to take umbrage, but that's just how it goes.
Nice.
Dirk, you are up. There is a jello cube attacking your floor, seeming to just actually at this point it hasn't done anything. It's just standing there getting beaten up by your friends. Your friends are attacking the jello. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead. And since it's already taken damage,
That's right.
it would be 2d12 if it fails a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw, which would be 15 points of damage. Bruh.
It is 0.
Ooh!
It is not a wise cube.
Loud bells start playing, but you also hear like a little whisper of, "I call the dead to me," in like an ominous voice. Why?
Nice. So you call the dead. You toll the bell tolls for the cube today. Kelemvor's power channels through you, and all of a sudden, this jello cube, which is almost transparent, it's like almost clear, black veins kind of arc through it, like as the necrotic energies slowly eat away at it. The cube retorts, so to speak. It's got thorns just all through the backside of it. So it is going to. It doesn't want anything. It's not intelligent enough to do so with an intelligence of 1, but it does know. Ouch! Move away. So it moves forward. The thorns being behind it, which means it tries to engulf you, Great Paw. So you definitely see this coming. So you have advantage thanks to your danger sense, and so you can make a dexterity saving throw, DC 12, and you can choose to be pushed 5 feet back. Or allow it to engulf you. I think I know what you'll choose, but go ahead and make that dexterity saving throw. 17. You have advantage thanks to danger sense.
I am so aware of the danger.
So go ahead and move your token 5 feet back.
Yes, I would prefer to not be eaten. Where'd we go? Derp. Hi, Anthemina.
Hello.
It is I, here to protect you.
So, yeah, this is always one of these things that I was never clear. It says that the cube can move up to its speed. So it could actually move 15 feet. So it could actually move all the way to let Anthemina make a saving throw, too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And by the way, can you guys hear me now? Like, am I coming in?
Yeah.
Okay,
perfect.
It's good now.
Definitely far less. Okay, I don't think I get advantage, so I might have gotten engulfed.
You did.
No!
So, Great Paw, go ahead and move yourself back 5 feet behind Anthemina. Because we're going to rule. I've actually played a game with a DM who said, well, it moves 15 feet, but when you succeed, you only get pushed back 5 feet. So you have to make the save 3 times.
Oh my god!
And I don't like that ruling.
That's so rude.
I say it moves 15 feet, and either it engulfs you or don't. 1 save. And if you succeed, you end up 5 feet back from it.
Okay.
So it is here. That's its 15 feet.
Anthemina, no!
As it surges forward away from the wall of thorns that shredded it, and it is looking rough, this ragged-ass jello cube surges at you, and Great Paw deftly jumps back, his finely tuned danger sense alerting to him that this is going to happen. It's like he saw it build up. Anthemina, however, loading a new crossbow bolt, looks up just in time to... So you are now, as it says, engulfed. You cannot breathe. You are restrained. You take some acid damage. Some. Let's find out how much. This much. 22
Oh.
points of acid damage.
Damn.
You're resistant to that, though, right? You're an alchemist.
It's a lot.
It is a lot of acid damage.
Not
You
to
spent
add.
years building up a resistance to...
I am resistant to poison, though.
Poison, but not acid. Alas, iocane powder, yeah. So, all right, you are now inside this. We'll see what happens next. Sildaris, this creature surges its way forward through the thorns, or away from the thorns rather, that you would put behind it, and engulfs Anthamina. And you can see that Anthamina is finding this uncomfortable.
Did it get hurt going over the thorns?
Yeah, it wasn't clear to me. So it says that when it makes its save, or after it took the damage, I think it has to end its turn or enter the area for the first time.
Or end its turn.
Yeah. So I think that wouldn't count as moving through, right? Wouldn't you? Is that fair ruling for everybody? You think?
I'm with me.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I would have. Because the reason I'm hesitating is because it's 10 feet thick, right? And so it's like, well, part of it has to move through, but part of it's already through, and you'll kill it this round anyway. It's almost dead. So, what would you like to do, Sildaris?
Sildaris will step forward and then reach in and try to pull Anthamina out of the ooze.
All right. So you are going. So you are going to reach in and try and pull it out. This is something that All right.
This could be really painful.
It might hurt a little. So in this case, you go ahead and make a strength check to.
Can I assist by maybe also pulling Sildaris?
Well, so hold on a second though. I just want to check and make sure, because I'm not 100% certain.
So a creature within 5 feet of the cube can take an action to pull somebody out.
I count as large to try to drag him out of there.
Oh yeah, you do, because you're big, strong. You don't need my help.
Okay.
So with or without help, go ahead and I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
Because of
we'll see how this goes.
Your largeness. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's fine. Sure, why not? So it's a DC 12. Yeah, 12. 21 is higher than 12. Okay, so the creature making the attempt takes 3d6 acid damage. So we'll go ahead and roll. Let the dice decide the exact number, because dice are fun, and that's in your favor. That was only 2d6 I rolled. Sorry. It's still okay. It was 10 anyway. What do you know? So you take 10 acid damage, but you reach in, your arms and torso kind of entering it, and it starts to burn your skin beneath your glamour. You get hold of Anthamina and rip her out, and there's this sound as she pops out of the jello cube, leaving a ragged hole that slowly closes back up.
I will drag Anthamina away on my turn.
Yeah, absolutely. You can use the rest of your movement.
Deposit her behind me.
Excellent. You have been de-jelloed, Anthamina. And it is, in fact, your turn. You are being grappled momentarily by Sildaris and been a bit burned. What would you like to do? There might be another delay. Oh, he just dropped again. And, of course, our overlay is messed up. Ish will be right back. He's been having internet troubles, which is always a great challenge here in the land of remote play.
I honestly thought that was going to be me today. Like yesterday, earlier this morning, I kept dropping in and out for my private D&D game, and I was like, please don't, just please work.
Yeah, it's totally a thing. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have pretty good, pretty reliable internet here, but a storm could always blow through. It's in South Florida, and knock us out. So here's what we'll do. Great Paw goes at the same time as Anthamina. So, so we'll go ahead and you do your turn, and then when Anthamina returns, what's going on here?
Anthamina's back, but back into locations.
I'm going to remove the.
That's so weird.
It is.
Okay.
So you're connected on two computers. Strangely-ish. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I figured I'd resort to my phone because that might be more stable.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I will slightly adjust your Zoom. So pardon us, folks at home, while I do some...
Let's see. If it's easier, I can do this as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Everybody loves landscape mode better.
Cool.
Don't be one of those people that do your phones in portrait. Don't do it. All right, so oh, I just broke it. Oh, that's why. Oh my gosh. The other video dropped, so let's undo all that work.
Well,
There you go.
It already sounds like there's a better delay on this.
Yeah, no, you do sound better. All right, so you're fixed, and I'm going to go ahead and have Great Paw go ahead and take his turn, and then it'll be your turn, so you guys have the initiative at the same time. So thanks for bearing with us, everybody at home.
Yes,
the
sir,
internet
guys.
is magic. All right, so Great Paw, it is your turn. This gelatinous cube tried to swallow you up, but you were too quick for it. Not poor Anthamina, however, who is sizzling behind you.
Great Paw's pissed that this thing hurt his friend. And seeing that it did not damage his busted hand axe, he's going to put the hand axe away and pull out his two-handed battle axe and try and whack this thing like a baseball.
All right. That's a hit. You get a second shot, though.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It had 19 hit points total. What does it look like when you kill a Jello cube?
I imagine that I just kind of like whirl in the middle of it and little pieces of Jello just splatter along the walls.
I think that's right. All right, so Great Paw, as you, Anthamina, as you're kind of recouping from being pulled into and then sucked into and then pulled out of this gelatinous cube, wields the weapon and slashes right through this creature, and it just loses its form. It's trying to rejoin, but it's with such force, splatters it on the walls like a Gallagher show, and there's just nasty ichor and goo just dripping down. And it really kind of was deflated like a fallen flan. I'm just going to go with all the metaphors here. And it is no more. It is an X cube. The hallway.
Yell, I'm tired of things eating my friends.
The hallway, which was once pristinely clean, now looks like a horror show. Splatter.
Thank you for saving me. Now let's move on. That's all Anthamina says about it.
Should we get that little ball fellow out here to come clean up this mess? Would this bother him? Them? It? Her? What? I did not get a name. We were not acquainted.
I mean, it was here, so perhaps it'll be fine if we leave it.
I have a feeling that this was the creature in charge of mess cleaning, but I could be wrong. That being said, we should advance, lest another one of these things sneak up on us.
Stay behind me, Anthamina. I will protect you.
Very well.
Sildar just walks down the hallway shaking the tip of the staff to see if thorns or glitter fall out.
I'll assume you drop the wall of thorns. It would otherwise.
It probably is dissolving as the people walk through it.
Yeah, the acid of the gelatinous cube is like so the other for momentarily melting thorns adorn your passage here.
Yeah, like Sildaris has no clue how that happened. Like
some strange greenery in here.
It was pure emotion. He didn't know what happened.
Oh.
So the hallway continues south, and you glimpse that it is opening up.
See that? There's another room.
By the way, Anthamina takes a swig out of a flask that she has that's like a specialized cure, or not a cure potion, like her cure wounds that she administers to herself.
Oh, are you doing all right? Do you need a little help with that? And I just kind of point to the acid.
I'm fine now.
Okay.
Oh, nice. 17. That's a good roll. So, you move south. And in this room, the hallway
floor is different.
The hallway opens, and you're struck by two things. One, successfully weirder than the next. The first is that the room you've entered is a massive triangular chamber, like a hollowed out pyramid. In fact, it's a tetrahedron. And, for gamers, that's a D4. The second thing is that to the south, doing a headstand, is another creature that looks like this.
Oh my god, wait, okay. Sorry, the Modrons are going to correlate in shape to the rooms, maybe. That is my theory, and I am excited.
So this creature is shaped like a pyramid as well, but its head seems to be the wide spot. So to match the room, it's upside down. The strange being wheels, kind of like turns itself around, flips itself up onto its legs, of which it has 6 and 3 arms, and has a spear in each of its hands, which it lowers 2 of them, and then it charges you. So we're not going to actually roll initiative for this, but it is indeed attacking you. It just charges forward, and it's going to get to about here before its turn is over. How would you like to respond to this act of triangular aggression?
Smack.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack. Let's see if you one-shot the tri-drone here.
I mean, I don't want to kill it, so I guess it would be a fist attack. A claw attack. I'm not going to hit it with my axe or anything. I just want it to know that, that's not what we do.
That's a bad tri-drone. All right. All right, so yeah, it's actually it's a little harder than you'd expect. As you claw at it, it's like raking your claws across brass.
Ow.
And it does, it pokes at you with its javelin or spear in its hand, but it's rather ineffective. Get out! It's mumbling in Dwarvish. Or no, actually, it's just mumbling something in Momo Drum. I apologize. Again, the clockwork sounds are coming out of its voice. It seems intent on continuing to attack.
I want to respond in Giant because that's the only language I speak that has worked here so far.
Yes.
You have failed in challenging me successfully. Go about your business. Rawr!
What about everybody else? What is Sildaris doing, for example, at the sight of this strange upside-down pyramidal, 3-armed, 6-legged, 3-eyed, 3-mouthed, brass fleshy thing sticking a javelin at your friend?
Sildaris steps up, looks at Great Paw and says, "You didn't have to go hurting its feelings."
You poked me with a stick.
Did it hurt you?
That's not the point.
And Sildaris will attempt to grapple it.
Okay.
Until somebody can talk to it.
So, yeah, we don't need to do the whole combat because this is not actually a threat to you at all. But let's say
How
that...
do I grab 3 arms and 6 legs? I have no clue. However it works.
Go ahead and make a strength athletics check. It's going to swing twice more at you. Oh, with a fist and a javelin, which just,
Ooh!
Oh, the javelin pokes you, though. Hey, that hurt. That's not very nice. So you get a hold of it. Oh, no. Go ahead and roll your athletics check. Let's see if you can escape it. So you come up, and I can imagine, if you'll allow me to narrate, Sildaris. You tell me if this is wrong. But
Go ahead.
I can imagine Sildaris coming in to grapple this creature in the way that Sildaris kind of comes in for like a hug. Like, come on, bring it in, right? Comes in and this creature just starts heading towards you, and then sticks you right in the belly with a little javelin. It hurts. I mean, it's not serious, but it did hurt. So let's hear how does Dirk react to this? Another one of these biomechanical creatures that seems to be acting strangely.
Don't kill it. We can knock it out, but don't kill it.
Oh.
We don't have to kill it. And I'll walk up, or I guess I'm already right there. And I will, what is the weapon I have since I always use my spells? What is my weapon? I have a mace. I will take the hilt of my mace and just try and knock it out.
All right. Go ahead and take a whack. How did you roll? Do you have a strength of -1?
No, I don't have a strength of -1. Oh, fuck. Yes, I do. What? Wait, what? Oh, wait, that's right. I never use the weapon. I use like my spiritual weapon or whatever. So I do 0 damage.
I was like, wait, you have plus because of your proficiency, but wow.
Oh, wait a second. Wait, wait. 1d6.
Yeah, you rolled a 1, and it's -1 because of your strength.
-1.
Well, wait, I'm proficient in this weapon, so shit.
Oh, wait, proficiency?
Not damage.
Yeah, right.
Damage doesn't do anything.
damage.
It's only the hit.
Yeah, I just.
Well, Dirk's
Wow.
heart's not in it. You don't really want to hurt the creature, right?
I really don't.
So you're like, hey,
It's my friend.
dunk, knock it off. Dunk.
Don't.
So, all right. So Anthamina, you're the last person who hasn't had a chance to react. So let's hear what Anthamina has to say, and then we can kind of more generally narrate this.
Anthamina will say in Dwarven, "Soldier, this is the sloppiest behavior I've ever seen from one of your kind. Attention." See if it responds.
Make a. I don't know. Maybe what is that? A deception check? An intimidation check? In what tone are you saying this?
I would say, yeah, I'll go with deception.
Right.
Because I'm trying to like pretend like I'm in charge of it or whatever. I'm not necessarily trying to scare it. I'm just trying to appeal to its, desire to follow orders. 12.
So,
I don't know.
I don't think that's deception. I think Anthamina's in charge of everything.
All right. So
I could roll something else.
And you said that in Dwarvish, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it and it turns and looks, and it's hesitant. It seems to be unsure what to do. So at this point, let's step back from the combat. It's not going to attack you, but it's wary, and it kind of retreats a little bit. It's three javelins kind of like floating. It's holding them in its arms defensively, and its eyes are. It's just kind of like darting around in the room. It seems really on edge, paranoid, perhaps. Oh, by the way, when you stepped into the room, right where between Anthamina and Great Paw and Sildaris, there's another one of those lips around the hallway, about an inch each side. Maybe
There are more statues.
You see no statues in here, but you get the impression that maybe that's the limit of where the cube goes.
Oh, that's interesting.
So let me see what you guys can see from here. So I will say as well, now that the Tri-Drone has stepped back from combat and is a little confused, disoriented, and like it's looking around like that, like it's on edge, it's paranoid. The floor tiles here had been perfectly orderly up until now, but here they suddenly start to become disorganized, switching to different shapes. Indeed, kind of spiraling out of control into bizarre, tessellating geometric patterns, repeating without purpose. As your eyes trace the tiles on the floor, they start to find a pattern, but then it's kind of quickly disrupted and it's a little disconcerting. And at the very limit of your vision, Great Paw, you can see there is a drain in the floor, like a square grate, metal grate. It seems to have a hole inside it. So, there is a Tri-Drone here. You have spoken to it, Anthamina, in Dwarvish, and that seems to have caused it to back off, but it's looking very distrustfully around the whole room. In fact, it starts swinging at the empty space around you as well. So it's like it's looking at you and kind of stepping back distrustfully. If you want to talk in mechanical terms, it's like taking the disengage action and kind of stepping back a bit. And it's swinging its spear or its javelin at empty space, and you can observe it. You can interact with it. What would you like to do?
Anthamina, what'd you say?
I would say that. Gosh, I had it in my head. Please state your most recent orders that you had been given.
It in Dwarvish you say that.
Yep.
It says it turns, and one of the faces, so this is this upside down pyramid, and on one face there's a single eye and a mouth, and so one of them pivots and the eye looks right at you, and it says in Dwarvish, enforce monodrone order, and then it pivots, and then the next face faces you, and there's an eye and a mouth, right? And it says remove rats, and then it pivots one more time, and the eye and the mouth, third eye and mouth face at you, and it says all praise Gaiax, and then it falls down on its back and kind of flips upside down again, and so that it's now matching the shape of the room, right? Like a pyramid, a little pyramid inside a big pyramid.
How curious. So I'll relay this to everyone and say, I do believe that whatever this influence of this Gaiax, whatever it may be, might be what is setting these creatures on edge. It might be better that we simply move past this one for now and try and figure out what is disrupting their order.
Can you convince it that we're not rats?
I suppose that I can put that thought into its head. I will say that to this Tridrone in Dwarvish and just say, the rats have receded for now. At ease.
So the eye, one of the eyes like blinks, it's upside down currently. And, it's the spears kind of just begin to kind of calm a little bit. And then it just lays there looking around with its eyes upside down.
Let's go. I don't know how much, I don't know how long that's going to last.
All right, that little icon means it's on its back. So, yes, it seems to have been calmed. So as you enter this room, let me describe it a little bit more. So it's like I said, like a D4. Let me zoom out for the folks at home here. It is a giant pyramid. So 3 walls that the floor plan would look like a triangle seen from above. And it comes to a single point above you, right? Like a D4. And there seems to be hallways emanating from, you can't quite see the southern edge, but it looks like there's hallways emanating, 6 hallways emanating from this triangular shape. 1 from each corner and 1 from each side. Or at least that's what it looks like. You'll have to move a little more south to see the southern wall if you choose to do that. And again, the floor seems to become disrupted here. And Sildaris, you glimpse here that there's another, and Great Paul, you too now see there's another one of those brass doors right here. But the other 5 paths out of this room are clear. They're open. There's hallways. Right? So you're standing in a triangular room, or a pyramidal shaped, a tetrahedral room, if you like, with 6 hallways out of it. One you entered from, one that seems to be blocked with one of those giant brass and iron doors, and then 4 other hallways. And here's the thing. This door looks exactly like the one upstairs, except it has 6 indentations in it instead of just 1.
Oh.
Now, I'll remind you that you actually have 2 of the magnetic keys. One you got from the Ettin's pouch when you killed it in one of the back rooms of the first level, and one that you found in the room with the black pudding and the back room of the other level. Or the other side of that level. So you have 2 of these keys that seem to fit in this door that would require 6. There is a drain in the middle of this room, and there are 4 hallways arching out of it. What would you like to do?
Which way?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, 1 is the way we came, and this way...
No. 2 keys. 1, 2. 2 keys, 4 ways to go. Upstairs, each of the ways we could go had a key. There are 4 ways to go. We need 4 more keys.
Should we split up then, or go in groups of 2, or stay all together?
It always seems recommendable to go together. We don't know what kind of dangers we may face, and were it not for Sildaris earlier, I don't know what would have become of me. I say we stay together.
I'm sure you would have figured something out. You're the smart one.
Or been embraced by Kellamvor. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, sure, if it wasn't for Sildaris.
Well, with luck, no one ever eats the gelatinous cube that ate me, because I don't want anyone to find out what I taste like.
Oh, I have a question. Just out of like. Actually, never mind. Never mind. It's fine.
I'm intrigued. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so curious now.
When this acid creature was eating away at Antamina, was the flesh just dissolving, or were there scraps of it left? Like, what if like Dirk's all about eating new things?
Yes.
And since Antamina said that, now Dirk wasn't thinking about it before, but now Dirk's like,
So is Dirk curious about what Antamina tastes like, or what the gelatinous cube tastes like?
a little bit of both, but
Okay.
the gelatinous cube seems like it would probably do some fucked up stuff to Dirk's insides. So,
Like, let's be honest. Antamina is probably without flavor. And he's like, yep.
I bet Antamina is a tasty snack.
I still get the image of prim and proper Victorian. You know, I don't eat spicy food. It's unbecoming.
She's about as flavorful as steamed toast.
Steamed toast.
Steamed toast.
Oh, it's amazing.
all right, okay.
She's guiding this motley crew of idiots through a dungeon.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
So much patience.
So, Grandpa, being the one with the strongest brain, which is a muscle, is going to back up Antamina's suggestion of sticking together.
All right.
And by the way, Antamina is not beyond the concept of attempting to alkalize the gelatinous cube and serving it up as like a flan, maybe.
Oh yes, it could perhaps be salvaged. You know.
Ooh, I would like that.
That is for another time. At the very least, when we leave this
The
dungeon.
way out.
Yes, but for now, we will try and decide the best route at which to go, and this would be a great time for a dice roll. But I'm not going to be so mean as to upend this poor Tridrone so we can figure it out. So instead, Antamina is just going to take one of her crossbow bolts and kind of toss it up in the air and see which way it points. So that will be a simulated kind of
D4 roll.
And by her reckoning, she's like looking back towards the way we came. So she's recommending we go to the far left, and I'll kind of denote that here.
Okay.
That way. Okay.
Well, if it hadn't been for the mysterious shrubberies in the dungeon, I don't know what would have happened. But I will accompany you, Antamina, to continue to preserve your life.
It is much appreciated.
All right.
Now let's not speak of it again.
So, all right. So, so you're going to go through this one. So, all right, go ahead and join us down here in the hallway.
Ooh.
Yes. So let me go ahead and move you. Let me describe here. You leave the pyramid room and you follow the hallway at one corner to a stone archway.
What is this?
So let me explain. Beyond the stone archway, a narrow bridge spans a massive open space filled with swirling fog, illuminated by a diffuse indirect light. Neither floor nor wall nor ceiling is visible in any direction. Winds blow here and there across the bridge, which lacks any sort of railing. And through the mists at the far end, almost 150 feet away, you glimpse a lighted archway. So, I mean, imagine like you've got two perfectly sheer cliffs, and then there's a bridge that goes between them. That's what it seems like you've arrived at. And you look up and you can't see any ceiling. You look down, you can't see any floor, no walls to either side. The only walls you can see are the one that the arched doorway, that you're emerging from. And then there's a wall on the far side with another arched doorway. And then there's just this swirling fog all around you.
It's a leap of faith.
And there's, this is about a 5 foot wide, 5 foot thick, just stone pillar sideways, like bridge, basically. Just stone bar. No railings to just walk across, should you choose. What would you like to do?
Antamina said it's the right way, so Great Paw's just gonna walk.
All right.
I guess we're going.
We would have no choice.
Yeah.
Should we jump into the fog?
No.
Oops, I just killed myself.
I was going to say, why did you put that marker on yourself there?
I don't know. I hit some button and I
removed it
don't
for
know
you.
why I did that. There we go.
So, all right. So you guys are walking out, and it's not
I'm
so
dead.
It's not so windy. So hold on for just a moment. It's not so windy that you're blown off or anything, but it is like, a little disconcerting because there's this swirling fog around you, and you look to the left and the right, and there's just swirling fog, but you get a glimpse of something moving in the fog, and out of the fog, indeed. Something happens. Flying at you, you see at the last minute a shape made of the swirling air in the form of roughly a human-sized creature, maybe a little bit larger.
Oh, no.
Slams into you with a push. So this is, it is going to try to push you off the bridge. It rolled a natural 1. So I won't ask you to roll the contested roll because I know that you would roll a higher number even if you rolled a natural 1. So this creature comes out of nowhere. Even though it didn't see you, it doesn't matter. Or you didn't see it really. This thing comes flying out at you, and something tries to shove you off the bridge. And you look over, and then floating there is a swirling mass of wind-made formed as though it is a creature. And floating around behind it is one more of these. Another Momo Drum. And it, too, rushes at you and tries to push you off the bridge. Because, of course, it does. Let's see how it does with its little strength check. Also a natural 1. It's been a while. Nobody's been in here for a while. They're a little rusty. So basically, Great Paw stands there, and these creatures come rushing up to you, and it's like you're standing again on the bow of a pirate ship, and the wind just blows your fur majestically. It doesn't bother you at all.
Feels a bit brisk.
But at this point, definitely, we should roll initiative. So let's go ahead and roll initiative. We'll maybe take a quick break once the initiative's all set up, because it's been about a little more than an hour and a half. And then we'll come back and see what happens when these creatures what happens if they push you off the bridge.
I rolled a 19, but it's saying that thing again.
I don't know why that is. We'll have to look at that.
No valid thingy was selected.
And you were clicking on your token?
No, I clicked on the initiative button.
But I mean, beforehand, had you clicked on your token?
I will do it now.
Yeah, try it that way. Whoops, wrong button. That worked.
There we go.
Yep, you rolled
Okay,
a 19 before? I'll give that to you.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Sure, I am a generous DM. For now.
For now. Ooh, that air elemental is fast.
They
Damn.
are.
I mean, they are not, but air.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have the elemental do one more shove just to see how that works. That'd be since it's going first.
Roll
Sure.
roll a natural 1 again. I'm counting on it.
Nearly. Hey, it's a 3. You rolled triple. But go ahead and roll your strength check, athletics check. Great Paul. I'm almost certain you can't roll that low, but let's see.
I might surprise.
16.
No.
Yeah, you have a +6. The lowest you could roll is a 7. So, good to know. All right. So again, it buffets itself against you to no effect.
I was getting warm. This feels quite nice.
All right. So, should we take a quick break? Or
Let's
yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, all right, everybody, we'll be back in just a few minutes after we take our biologicals. And thanks for watching Sigil Spotlight. All right, and we're back. This is Sigil Spotlight. I am Eugene Marshall. We are a diverse community of tabletop industry creators spotlighting each other's work. This session, we're playing The Shape of Madness, Dungeons & Dragons adventure by me, that will be available soon on Dungeon Masters Guild. We have with us 4 amazing creators and players that are playing in this adventure today. They have so far been tasked with traveling to a lost dwarven mine by the Blackhelm family to determine first, is this the lost mine of Carindor Blackhelm? Check, they have determined it is. Second, they're supposed to clear it and make it safe. They're in the process of doing that. But what they've discovered is that whereas the top level looked kind of like what you could imagine it being a dwarven mine that has been open to the elements for centuries, so kind of, occupied by some cave-dwelling monsters and creatures, they found a special key that opened up a vault door and took them deep into the mine. And there they found strange beings, biomechanical beings, like our friend here, the Momo Drum, who are operating here and seeming to operate according to certain tasks, but seem also to be severely damaged in some way. There was a note that they found on level 1 where one of the dwarven miners was writing to another, reporting, commenting on Carindor's new workers being remarkable. But this mine is lost, and no one had known what had happened to it or where it was for centuries, but these creatures seem to have been here this whole time. And what you found is that the first room, shaped like a sphere, occupied by a monodrone. Then you entered a pyramidal room, tetrahedral, if you will, and had a tridrone in it. Had 6 pathways. You chose one randomly, and now find yourself on a bridge. The hallway abruptly entered a seemingly endless chasm filled with swirling air and diffuse light. And this bridge arched through this space to another room at the other side. And as you crossed this bridge, out of the swirling mists, an air elemental surged and tried to push Great Paw, Battle Thumper, off of this bridge, very ineffectively. Now we now find ourselves on the bridge. Great Paw, it is your turn. The air elemental has tried, and a monodrone, have tried to. They surprised you all, tried to push you off the bridge. But it is your turn now. What would you like to do?
I would like to rage.
Fair.
I do not appreciate what this is doing to me. And none of my friends are near me, correct?
That's correct. They seem to be back 15 or 20 feet.
Okay, that's good for them, but also sad because it means I cannot break any of their things. So I'm just going to smack this air elemental with my battle axe.
Definitely a hit.
Yay! I'm gonna do it again.
Oh my! All right.
Woohoo!
So 6, 7, 8, 10, 14. All right. So you slash into this creature, but of course you are slashing solid air, which is a quite weird phrase to say. So it doesn't seem to hit quite as hard as you would have expected. Mm-hmm. All right. But you do slash into it, and its form becomes wispy and immaterial for a moment before kind of reforming like a little vortex of swirling mist. Kind of a rumble comes out of it as it does so. Anthamina.
Does anything happen? Does it get hurt at all?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. Yeah, you cut into it, but
Okay.
in mechanical terms, maybe it's resistant to non-magical slashing damage.
Got it.
But you do successfully cut into it and take a little bit of it's been dispersed, but it's still holding its form together quite well. Anthamina, you see this shape surge out of the fog and buffet Greatpaw on this bridge, but Greatpaw stands firm and then retorts with a slash. There's also a monodrone there kind of flying around, batting weakly at Greatpaw as well. What would you like to do?
Anthamina will take out her new patented slingshot, and she will shoot out an acid splash that should cover both the monodrone and the air elemental.
Excellent.
And they each need to make dexterity saving throws.
Here's the air elemental. And here's the monodrome. So that's 1 fail and 2 fails. So they both take the 4 acid. And awesome. the monodrome is, it is quite badly damaged by this acid. So the acid splashes on the air elemental. There's a strange sizzling sound. It seems to be very effective against it. The monodrone, however, gets splashed, and you can see it just is corroding its kind of brass form, really noticeably pitting, and it's almost slumping and melting a bit, as though it is nearly destroyed.
Anthamina would never for the monodrone.
Would what now? Sorry, you cut out for just a second.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, Anthamina feels bad for the monodrone, but she would never admit it.
She's all business, that one.
Mm-hmm. But that is my turn.
Dirk, what would you like to do? Yes.
Unmute. Okay. I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon at 3rd level.
Ooh.
Let me double check that. Am I? Yes, that is correct. All right, so I'm gonna place it right here, so in range, and I'm gonna attack the. I'm gonna attack the air elemental.
And did we decide? I forget. We did, but what kind of weapon? What does it look like? Like a mace?
It's a mace.
Mace.
Yeah, it takes the place of the one I have.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Let's just drop a little mace in there. All right. So go ahead and let's see how you did on the roll.
11.
11 to hit the air elemental. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it. However, you are still floating there. I'll go ahead and give it to you to control, Vic.
Thank you. And I'm going to wait. No, that's not me. Sorry, Anthamina. Wait. Damn it. Sorry. Where's Dirk?
Dirk is right behind Anthamina. There you go.
Okay. I am going to back up some more.
Okay.
I don't want to be. Well, actually, no. I take that back. Damn it. Okay, wait. I'm gonna come up right behind.
We're all frightened.
I'm not scared. I'm just being tactical.
All right.
I'm a tactical being, and I'll be right there by Sildaris. And
that's tactic is to stand behind the kitty.
And that'll be my What?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. I can cast a
cantrip.
Yeah, I can do a cantrip.
Yep.
I will cast a cantrip.
Because spiritual weapon's a bonus action spell.
Yes.
So
I will do Sacred Flame. It needs to make a DC. It's probably going to pass that dexterity saving throw. DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
The air elemental or the monodrome?
You know what? I'm going to cast it at the monodrome.
All right.
I'm going to mess up that monodrome. Wait.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not. Okay. That's big talking.
That didn't happen.
Dirk wouldn't actually do that.
Okay.
Dirk feels pretty bad for these things.
Okay.
Don't say Dirk.
I know. I forgot that I was Dirk for a second. I'm going to cast it at the air elemental.
All right. Here
My
goes
other
the air.
character would do it.
All right. It fails. So go ahead and roll your damage. At level 5, that's going to be 2d8. Are you guys level 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Aw, really?
So, radiant light descends through the swirling mists and shimmers across this creature with a slight sizzle, but it doesn't seem too bothered by it. Sildaris, oops, you're up. I skipped you there. Sildaris, Dirk has cast some spells. Great Paw is smacking around a piece of wind. What would you like to do?
Sildaris will walk forward with purpose, get to about here, look at, and as he's going, he's becoming hairier. His features look more ursine. And by the time he gets to the monodrone, he just roars at it with all the sound of a bear and attempts to cudgel it with the staff.
All right.
Which will do this. 13.
All right, so alas, it is quite deft. And as you swing the staff, it's almost like swatting at a fly. The very air of the staff moving, or the very air of the staff that the staff pushes as it moves through the air kind of buffets the thing around, and it just kind of swirls around past your staff, but does not manage to, you don't manage to connect this little jerky thing.
Oh, why did it do that? Anyway, I'm just saying that that's what I cast.
Okay.
As I walked up.
So you kind of keep your eye on that thing, and alas, though, it is swirling in the winds and difficult to pin down.
Big thing. All right.
It actually is going to turn to you and give you a push. A 4. These guys are rolling really baller. So can you please roll that's the highest number I've rolled for them. It was a 1, a 1, a 3, and now a 4. So this is all according to my plan. All right.
You're mighty.
I can't fail.
Yeah, so I don't worry about it. Okay. Congrats, you have a +5. So it just goes, and doesn't. Its heart isn't in it. The air elemental, however, is going to go ahead and do one more shove. Okay, that's less embarrassing. So that's against Great Paw. So please make a strength athletics check and tie or beat a 15. All right. So it shoves you back 5 feet, and you are pushed back off of the bridge.
No.
So.
Oh wait, yeah, that is. I do still have advantage. I just sucked with my advantage.
So
I was like, wait, no.
So the air elemental surges forward and almost engulfs Great Paw, and the very force of this wind just buffets Great Paw, and you see time slows for everyone. You in particular, Great Paw, as you feel your feet leave the stone, and you're pushed back above nothing but swirling mists, and you begin to plummet. Faster and faster you fall through the swirling mists. You look up and you see the bridge receding from you at ever faster rate. And then you look down, and all of you see him disappear into the mists. Great Paw, you look down, and you see another bridge with figures standing on it, rushing up at you at high speeds. And it's only when you get right about level to it that you realize it's your friends on this bridge. All of you are looking down for a moment, and then you hear whoosh, and Great Paw comes ripping past you at high speed from above. And then, a few seconds later, you are now flying past the bridge over and over again in a loop. So you're in constant, eternal fall past this bridge. You are now falling at rather high speeds. We can come back to you. You're falling, if you want to know, that I actually sorted the math out because that's the kind of person I am. About 500 feet around, you're falling. Fast. All right, so that's your turn, actually. The air elemental, after shoving you successfully off of the bridge, turns and just kind of starts floating away because nobody's within melee range of it. Great Paw, what would you like to do? You are now plummeting past this bridge. But let's say you're on the second pass now, and it's your turn.
I would like to try and land on the bridge with a superhero roll.
Okay, you're falling 500 feet around, and you would like to land on the bridge.
It's a terrible idea.
You are raging.
I know, but ooh.
Okay, so go ahead and make an athletic.
But I do always land on my feet.
As a tabaxi
Wait, that's
should.
cat burglar.
Oh, right. So go ahead and make an athletics check to try to hit the bridge, because you're right next to it. So this is more like just kind of like throwing yourself to the side a little bit to see if you can't hit that bridge. It's not actually that hard. Let's say a DC 12 to get yourself. Oh my. Alrighty then. You are raging.
Like through the bridge.
Would you like to roll the damage, or shall I?
I don't know.
Take the power into your own hands.
How much? It's. I mean, if the 10d10 is the max.
10d6.
I thought. It was 20
right. That's what I meant. 10d6 is the max. Okay.
So I'm gonna. So in this case, the air is heavy and moist, and things are not as you would expect.
Oh, that's not.
So you take 10d6, but you're raging, so you take half of that damage.
That's not.
However, yeah, I guess you took damage, so you keep raging for another round, even though you didn't take it from an attack. You took it from falling, but I guess that counts. So you all see Great Paw fly past twice, but on the third time, he kind of throws himself to the side and just slams into the stone. The stone is unaffected. It doesn't destroy the bridge, or the bridge doesn't even budge. But Great Paw is now prone, kind of like when you know, looks a little bit like dropping a very ripe tomato on the kitchen floor. And that's definitely going to be your turn. So Anthamina, there is a Momo Drum here, and that is badly injured and is kind of slapping around your friends a little bit, very ineffectively. The air elemental seems to have flown off, though Great Paw's return to the bridge causes it to stop and pivot back towards you. What would you like to do? Oh, you're muted.
It was from when I was eating cookies. I didn't want you guys to hear eating sounds.
Cookies are important.
They are important. So shoot, now I got to figure out what to do and how to do it. This is going to be tricky, but Anthamina will share with everyone her observation that for whatever reason, the air elemental is focused on Great Paw, and will advise everyone to just try and move past as quickly as possible. And not to worry about the Momo Drum because it's not a threat. I know that's a lot. Hopefully I can say that.
Sure. Well, let's say, I mean, it might have been fewer words when you're shouting it during battle, but yeah, I think that could work. And
she will ready an action or hold an action to move forward when other people do, so that she's not just shoving it Dirk in front of her.
Right, since you're in the back, that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. All right, so Anthamina shouts and prepares to dash forward, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's cool. All right, so Dirk, you hear Anthamina. You see the air elemental push, Great Paw fall, Great Paw land. What would you like to do?
Well, Dirk thinks it's a bad idea not to deal with the air elemental because we're gonna have to come back this way, and we don't know what's ahead of us. So I'm gonna be like, we don't know what's in front. We should finish this. Save the Momo Drum. Don't hurt that. And I am going to move my thing over here and attack it again.
All right. Go ahead and do it. That's a bonus action, so go ahead and take a whack.
I mean, it hits, but it's so much less damage than the first roll.
Well, still, it's not nothing.
And a bonus action, Toll the Dead.
All right. Yeah, so that was bonus action, and so you get the Toll the Dead cantrip, and then
13 points if it.
Nice. All right, so let me roll its wisdom. It's a wisdom save.
Yeah, DC 13.
Oh. So it's hard to get a glimpse of it through the swirling fog, and you know that you've wrung out the Toll of the Dead, but it doesn't seem to notice this time for some reason, like these creatures often do.
And I will move forward, though. So right. Wait, no, forward.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't move that way. All right. So moving past Soldaris would take is difficult terrain. You can squeeze past if you want. So
no, I'll stick behind Soldaris.
Well, it's your turn, Soldaris. So Dirk has moved up behind you. You've heard what Anthamina had to say. Great Paw is on the ground in front of you, prone, injured, but still, doing okay.
Anthamina is the smartest among us. So I think that's grand wisdom. So I'm going to turn back, roar like an animal, attempt to cudgel the monodrone one more time, which is not entirely what Anthamina said, but right now I'm possessed by the spirit of a hunter.
The monodrome was trying to shove your friends off a bridge. It's true.
It's a small baby.
Well,
Plus this should. So
yes.
8.
So it is. Hold on here. I'm having some. Let me fix my screen here. Whoop. All right. It is going to get smacked, and that is enough to finish it off.
And I will reach out and grab its spindly arm with my left hand, and then just continue walking, carrying the body of the monodrone with me.
Okay, so were you trying not to kill it and just disable it?
Yeah, I'm just disabling it.
Okay, because this matters. So
yeah,
you're not...
I would never know.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Okay.
So I've had a growth moment here. So in this adventure, so I'm not going to hurt this thing, at least not permanently.
All right.
Yes, I will just carry its unconscious body with me.
It's surprisingly heavy given its size and its tiny wings.
I'm surprisingly strong given my lanky Scandinavian.
Yeah, fair. So that is totally fair. So, all right, you have successfully knocked out the Modron or the monodrone here, and it is now in your hands, hanging by your side as you kind of walk along, as it kind of just waves in the wind. The air elemental, and you move forward. So the air elemental turns around, looks not at Great Paw, but at you, Soldaris, who have now moved further down the bridge, and surges at you, and tries to push you off too.
Oh.
And again, fails badly. I'm going to say that this air elemental, who's rolled 3 natural 1s out of 4 or 5 rolls, actually comes towards you and then goes, and it says, oh. And then surges forward and just bumps up against you. Kind of slumps.
I hope it feels ashamed of itself.
It's got a sore back. It's not out on its top peak performance today. Great Paw, you are laying on the ground, a little sore after your plummet and splat. The air elemental is back, but it seems more interested in whoever's in the front, whoever's getting furthest on the bridge. What would you like to do?
Oh.
Can I do anything besides stand up?
Standing up takes up half your movement, so then you got 50.
Okay.
Well, since I guess you might have 40. Do you have 30? What's your movement?
I have 40.
Yeah, so you have 20 more feet of movement and your action.
Okay, so I will stand up and move as far as I can, which I guess is to here.
Yes. I mean, you could try to move past Soldaris if you wanted, but I don't think you have enough movement to do so.
Yeah, I was going to use my burst of speed to get the rest of the way down the bridge, but I will save that for, maybe a time I don't have to use half my movement to get up.
Sure.
So, I guess I will continue to rage. Oh, while I'm here, sorry, Soldaris, I'm gonna just rip off part of your cloak. And so that I can then use Smash.
And since Soldaris has dropped his glamour, you could actually grab his real cloak, not his illusory cloak.
Yeah. So for where'd it go? There we go.
So there's Smash, the Path of the Stray, level 3 ability.
Sorry, Soldaris, I'll fix it later. He has no intention of fixing it later.
No.
And then I'm going to attack it.
All right. In perfect cat form, you enjoy knocking over and breaking other people's things. And it empowers you. All right, so that is a hit. Not a crit, but a hit. For
Crit, but a hit.
15. That's a solid hit. Would you like to take your second attack?
I would.
All right, that one, alas. And this is just regular, not reckless or anything like that.
Right.
All right. So those the first one is a hit, a solid one, but not the second. And you cut into it, and once again, you feel your blade. It feels. It's more than passing your blade through plain empty air, but less than hitting a creature. So it's like resistance. It's like dragging your blade through water. So it dissipates a bit where your blade passes through and then reforms. But every time it reforms, there's a little bit less of it. And that occurs again this time. Anthamina, it is you. So Sildaris has moved forward, as has Great Paw. You can now. We're back to you. So if you had been holding your action,
and I did move myself.
And you I noticed that now. You did move forward. So it's your turn again. Cool. What would you like to do?
All right, let me try and parse this out. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, and then she would basically have to double move just to try and get past.
Okay.
So 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Right. Okay, so it's going to be very risky for a number of reasons, but she's, she is going to just do her double move and try and get as far forward as possible. Will incur an attack of opportunity from the air elemental.
It will. So it actually whacks you. This is the first time it's actually tried to do damage, and it does hit for 14 bludgeoning. So the air elemental looks, you see its form pivot, and as you move forward, a tendril, like a smoky bit of cloud, forms into a tentacle and slashes out at you, and it's like being whipped by a wind that's so fierce it's like a blade, and slams, or more like a hammer in this case, slams into you, and you feel, like your shoulder twinge and crunch in an uncomfortable sort of way. But you are out of its reach, and you're able to stumble forward on the bridge without getting knocked off. And you can see before you there is a room ahead of you.
Okay. And that would be the extent of my action.
All right. You don't have any light on you, do you? Right, Anthamina?
I had a torch at one point, but I don't know if I still do.
Well, you tell me if you think I would allow you to retcon having lit a torch, but you'd been walking around with Sildaris, who had a torch, and you're now reaching the limit of that torch, light-wise.
I might have to light a torch next turn. Okay. I'll say I probably didn't if I was by Sildaris.
Okay, because if you keep running forward, you'll be running in on this bridge in the dark, which would be hard. Dirk, you see your friends battling these creature, or this creature, just the air elemental. It seems mostly interested in just trying to push people off the bridge, unless they apparently escape it, get past it, and then it swings an attack at you.
Okay, so first, bonus action. I'm gonna move this over here and attack again. Yes. Natural 20!
Nice. All right.
I'm gonna roll another 2d8.
Right. And this is force damage, so no resistances here. All right, 9 more. So that's a 22-point bonus action attack. All right. That is a pretty sweet. You still got your action, too. So this mace, just a spectral mace, slams down, and it's almost like you find the core in this thing, right? This is an audible thunk as this thing passes right into the core of this air elemental, and it's jarred significantly, and it starts to lose its form, and then finally the wind whips back around and it solidifies up again, but you can tell it's struggling now to maintain its coherence.
I'm going to do Toll the Dead.
All right.
I got a 1.
Wisdom saving throw as and this one, it still resists. It's holding on. It's holding on. It doesn't. It has its duty. It's been given a task. It must complete it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna move right here.
All right. You can do that. Sildaris, you are standing next to this air elemental that just whacked Anthamina, who slipped past you on this precarious bridge. The mono drone still hangs from one side in your hand. I can imagine you're kind of having to hold on to it while holding a torch in one hand and your staff in the other. What would you like to do?
It's juggling, but I'm following Anthemina's directions.
All right.
I'm just going to keep walking.
All right. Well, it has already taken its reaction this turn, so it's not going to get to swat.
40, 45, 50. That puts me to the door.
All right. So you can see that there is a room inside that looks, well, I'll describe it when you get there. You're just a little bit farther away. So at this point, the air elemental surges south and goes after Sildaris again. And it can make it because you're still on the bridge and you are the furthest one. Great Paul, you get an attack of opportunity even though you're laying on the ground.
I'm not on the ground. I stood up and I've attacked him.
Oh, you did. I got rid of your. I didn't get rid of your little prone icon. My bad. So go ahead and take that thwack you get for free because it does not care about attacks of opportunity. 15 hits, so that is 2 plus 9 is 11. Whoops, and that is a good hit. Again, as usual, you can. It's hard to connect with this creature with your mace or your battle axe, but you hit. Once more, the air elemental surges forward, intent on removing people from the bridge. It slams itself into you, and again, you have a +5. So even on a 1, you've tied the number it needs to make. So again, weakly, like a spring breeze, it blows through your hair to no effect. Great Paw, this creature is now harassing Sildaris, but you seem to be in the clear. It just traveled quite a distance. It was when it flies, it's fast.
Yeah. How are you seeing how far 40 feet is? How do I do that?
So if you go on the top left corner, there is a toolbar, and about halfway down, there's like a little circle with a ruler in it. Yeah. And if you click on that, and then you hold your button. And drag your mouse. You can see that it's 40. You can get within melee because that's 40 feet.
Ooh, okay.
Although technically you'd have to move through Anthamina, which counts as difficult terrain. But I'll ask for an athletics check.
Okay.
To move through quickly and just don't roll a 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe a little game of leapfrog.
Haha! I have leapt over, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. Anthamina sees you coming and squats quickly.
There we go. I get to here, I think. And I cannot reach Sildaris to break any more of his stuff. So
good.
Shucks.
So I am going to recklessly attack.
Oh, all right. I like the sound of that.
I'm tired of this thing.
Great Paw throws himself into it, smacking the crud out of this creature. That's one good solid hit.
If I had had some of your stuff to break, that would have been a crit.
Yep.
Are you checking to see if I feel bad? Like,
if you just let me break your stuff, this would be,
Look how much better it would go if you just gave me some of your stuff.
And indeed, with Reckless, that also is a hit.
Yeah.
For 9 more. All right, you continue to whittle this creature down. Now it's just a wisp of its former self, which probably explains why it can't do diddly squat to knock you guys off bridges. And it still just kind of spirals like a little dust devil, but it's still there.
Leave my friends alone.
Anthamina, it looks like the 4 of you have almost made it across the bridge. This air elemental, nearly dispelled, is still a threat, however. What would you like to do?
All right. Anthamina will attempt to do an acid splash.
All right.
Still DC 15 dex save, which I don't know if it's going to make it. It's got about a 45% chance.
It does not.
Hey!
6 more.
It's another 6 damage.
All right.
And for what it's worth, Anthamina will move just right behind Great Paw.
All right. So Anthamina throws forth with her slingshot this little pellet that explodes and acid all over the air elemental, and the acid sizzles into the air and kind of dissipates, and with it, some more of the air elemental loses its form. Dirk, they're leaving you behind. They've all run off. Sildaris is still dragging along this dead Momo Drum here.
Unconscious Momo Drum.
Oh, yes, I apologize. Unconscious. If it were dead, it wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You don't know
All
this,
right.
but they dissolve when they die. They disintegrate into dust immediately.
All right, so I'm going to move that there, and then I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 movement. You know what? I'm going to do another Toll the Dead.
All right. Wisdom save. All right. It hits. Still, it's still up as the toll of Kelimvor rings around it. It blackens like a storm cloud for a moment, and then the effect slowly fades, and leaving. There's so little of it left, you can barely even see it, but you can still see it enough, Sildaris, to do something, because it's your turn.
End it.
Will you get to end it before it gets one final shove attempt?
Sildaris looks at the door, wants to reach out to open the door, can't because the hands are full.
Oh, but the good news is the door has no doorway. No door. It's just a doorway.
Yeah, and that would... So I would have to not listen to Anthemina if I were to turn around and attack it. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Anthemina, you're the smart one. Give us advice so we can ignore.
We've come this far is probably what she'd say.
So turn back, roar at the air elemental again with my Ursine snout. Move my hunter's mark to it.
Oh, yes.
With that roar, and then let's see what happens if I try to hit it with a staff.
I was going to say the magic number is 15 to hit, and the magic number of hit points was 8.
Oh.
So you don't even need the hunter's mark. Just for the folks at home, there it is, 8. All right. So with that swing, you finally, you swing the staff and you feel it kind of connect with something at the core of this, like a tight swirling pivot of air spinning around at high speeds, but then you push through, and with it, there's a kind of a puff of air against all of your faces. The mist momentarily is dispersed. You're able to see clearly in about 10 or 15 feet around you, and then it slowly settles and everything calms. It is dispelled. You now find yourself outside of a room at the end of a bridge over a strange chasm full of swirling air.
All right. I will simply just turn and I'm going to walk in.
All right. So this room is unusual shaped. It would be something that would be difficult to describe if you were not a gamer. Because it's a D8. So imagine it looks like 2 pyramids, base to base, right? A big kind of giant diamond with 8 interior sides. And in it is... So you leave in it is, through this archway at the far end of the bridge, is a room. And in this room is so it's kind of like an 8-sided die. There's a Momo Drone hovering here, bumping into the wall, it's like poking around. It's like exploring each corner. You know what I mean? It's going from one corner to the next corner to the next corner, floating around. And on the floor, in the center of this room, is a small stone pedestal. And there's a cloud of air just kind of like hovering there, and sitting on top of it, not touching anything, but like hovering in the suspended in the air, is one of those keystones.
Ooh.
Well,
So
Anthemina
just wants to grab the dang. Yeah. You're muted. You're muted.
Oh shit! I had a whole thing. I was gonna use my big brain to formulate a plan and pounce through to just grab it.
All right. So Great Paw jumps forward, pounces through, and grabs the stone off of the air. And as you take it, there's this kind of puff, and the air kind of disperses a little bit like it felt when the air elemental out there was dispersed. But otherwise, nothing else happens. You now are in possession of one disc. The monodrone floating here turns and kind of looks at you, and you see a look of relief cross its face. It goes, and then it just turns to dust, and it kind of crumbles to the ground. The dust just tumbles to the ground. It's just now a little pile of dust.
Oh no! I didn't mean for that to happen. I wanted the thing.
It was pretty obviously relieved when you did so, though.
Okay.
You know, it smiled at you and was like,
I guess you set it free.
and then
I say a little quick prayer for my
mechanical friend.
friend.
While that is happening, in my more bestial form, I'll just drop the monodrone somewhat unceremoniously on the ground next to us.
Yes, there's an unconscious monodrone here.
The clank, then turn and storm back off through the door.
Is there a secret way back, or do we have to go across that bridge again?
I think just the bridge.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay this time.
So you venture back onto the bridge, and indeed, nothing else appears out of the swirling mist. You seem to have dispelled the guardians here. Yes, you get the impression that one thing you've noticed is that the monodrone that you knocked out didn't dissipate when you took the disc, but the one that was tasked with guarding that room or staying in the room until the disc was taken, it did. Its task was up, perhaps, and so it dissipated. But the ones who had a job to stop you from crossing the bridge got knocked unconscious, and it hasn't fulfilled its task. So here it is, unconscious with you, and will be for, let's see how many hours. We can treat it like an NPC instead of having it just die when it hits 4 hours. It will wake up if you're still playing this game. If it takes you that long to get through here.
Should
all right.
we fix it?
So I can give one of you. I'll go ahead and let one of you control this, I guess.
Oh no! I don't want the monodrone. I just leave the monodrone in the room.
Oh, okay. You just leave it back there. Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
walk back.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't we fix it?
I presume it will wake up once everything is once it's ready.
Have some time to rest. Recalibrate.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
Hopefully it doesn't knock anyone else off of the bridge, because it was fun, but maybe not fun for everyone.
Falling off the bridge. Yeah.
Yes.
Or the sudden stop at the end.
I mean, if I had a plan going into it, it's more the push. The surprise of it was unpleasant. It'd be fun to do as a group, like holding paws together and 1, 2, 3, and then just that could be fun. And then not the stop, a better stop. They need to work on the ending.
So there you have it. If you'd like, I will be happy to adjudicate how you could get out of that fall with clever use of ropes or spells or whatever you like. Figure out a pendulum system, I don't know, pulleys, I don't know, a net, whatever you like. Or you can just return to the tetrahedral room where the tridrone is on its head again in a kind of Zen meditation, it seems. It's sitting, as you walk in again, you are greeted with the same sight. So let me, did you want to you could light a torch now, Anthemina, if you wanted.
Yeah, why don't I? Do I need anything to do anything, or is that more of a you thing?
Yeah, I got it. So you should be able to see quite clearly now because you have a torch and everyone else can see your torch. So again, this room is a tetrahedron. There's 6 hallways going out of it. You've now been down 2 of them. The one you entered at the northern tip, the one at the southwest corner. There's 3 coming out of the walls, one of which are the central kind of bisecting the sides. Northwest, northeast, and then directly south. The direct south one, by where Great Paw is standing, has one of those giant doors, 6 keystone spots in it. You have 3, 2 from upstairs, and now 1 in your possession. I'll remind you that there is also a drain in the middle of this room. that you haven't examined. And then, so that leaves 3 hallways you haven't examined and 1 drain. What would you like to do?
I suppose we should look at the drain, because that seems suddenly important.
All right, well, if you look down the drain or at the drain, it is a metal grate that is seamlessly integrated into the stone, or so it seems. And you look down the drain, and you have dark vision. So Anthemina is having a breather over there in the corner. So you look down, and with your dark vision, at the very limits of your dark vision, about 50 feet down, you can see it's a 1 foot wide tunnel, just straight down, and sitting at the bottom of it is one of those discs for the doors.
Damn.
1 foot wide, 50 foot down, straight shot. Behind a metal grate, a disc.
So Darius has a plan.
I have a plan.
Can you wild shape into something?
What? That sounds needlessly difficult. I think what we should do is so Darius goes into his pack, pulls out some rope, and then like looks back and says, "Oh, can I please borrow one of the keys?"
You may have the one that I'm holding.
Right. Takes the key, ties the rope around it, so that it's like hanging. Now it's suspended by the rope. And now all we need to do is get the grate off, and we can lower the key down, and because they attract each other,
They're magnets.
Because magic.
it'll grab it, and we can just pull it up without using magic or other weirdness.
Is there a hand on the key?
A hand?
That's how it grabs it.
Oh, it's an invisible hand.
And I will remove the grate so that you may use these invisible hands.
All right. So you're going to roll bend bars, lift gates. No, that's
Yes.
AD&D. No, there's no roll needed. It might be if you needed to do it in 1 round, I'd make you roll. But it'll pop up. It might take you a minute. But you're able to rip it up. It's just been set in stone in a very professional sort of way, but naturally. So you rip it off, and pieces of stone go flying around. The Tridrone, however, becomes very agitated at this point, flips up on its feet, and charges you in combat. We won't adjudicate the combat because this thing is not really a threat to you. Is there a way you'd like to deal with this thing kind of like poking you? Just you, Great Paul. It seems very upset at what you've done. You've damaged its perfect shape.
Again?
Yeah, it doesn't like you. You keep messing up its room, you big rat.
As I am holding the grate and it comes to poke at me, I'm going to try and put the grate down on top of the Tridrone so it cannot move anymore. Not to hurt it, just so it stops.
Be careful.
I think that's fair enough. They're not particularly strong creatures, and this is like a 5 foot wide, heavy iron grate. So it's like, and it's got that flat head, right? It's upside down pyramid. So it just, and then what happens is, and this is kind of poor. This is one of the drawbacks of being an upside down pyramid shape, is it pushes down on its head, so its tip at the bottom hits, and then it just tips over because there's nothing for it to sit on. So its legs can't hold it up, and thunk, and it's like, So it's not particularly injured, but it is pinned.
Sit down there and settle down a bit. We've got magic hand stuff to do in the hole.
So it drops its javelins and is going to spend the foreseeable future just struggling with this grate, half-heartedly. So, okay, you're going to try that. So, well, what do you know? Magnets, how do they work? So you tie the magnet around a rope, you lower the rope, and the rope being 50 feet, you have to stick your arm down a little bit to compensate for the amount you tied around the magnet, but then you hear clunk as one of them slams onto the other. And then carefully you pull it up and you hear him banging on the walls a little bit, ting, 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 ting. And then as you get it to the top, what do you know? You have another magnet. You have another key. That brings your number to 4. There are 3 halls. You only need 2 more keys. Good job.
That was very smart, Saldaris.
And Soldaris will look back and just blush.
Greypaw just kind of examines the keys to try and see where the hands came from.
They do seem to be holding each other as you put, holding them together. They're definitely holding onto one another somehow. The invisible hand of the magnet. So, you have a room to your northwest, or a hall to the northwest, a hall to the northeast, and a hall to the southeast. What would you like to do?
I rush over to this hall. Let's check it out. Let's try this one.
All right. So, as you head to that one, let me get to that one here. Okay, that's this direction.
Ew, there's icky on the floor.
Yes, so there is icky on the floor, is exactly right. So as you head this way, 5 feet into the hallway, the floor drops about 10 feet and stays there for the length of this hallway, which is about 50 feet or so, right? Or 40 or 50 feet. And it's filled with a liquid, right? So it's kind of like a fetid looking pool or something. And, kind of smells bad here. It's about 35 feet across. So you'd have to swim or something to get to the other side.
Come back to this one.
Wait, what's the difference if we go there now?
Maybe we'll find a magic hand button in one of the other ones and we won't have to get our fur wet.
Okay, all right.
Anthony,
I don't have fur, but...
You don't want to rust.
I don't think I can rust unless it's magically induced, but, sure.
What about when you cry?
I don't cry.
You know the song, Warforged, Don't Cry.
A classic by one of my people.
By that band, The Cure Wounds.
Yes. Come for the D&D, stay for the puns.
Happy holiday, everybody. That was our gift to you.
So, you've got basically a flooded hallway here. The floor is about 10 feet, and there's about a lip about 10, like a foot down. So you guess the liquid's about 9 feet deep, and it seems to be pretty consistent across the length. And then there's a floor on the other side that hops back up again and continues through a doorway. Great Paw, right. You're looking down the other hallway, I see.
Looking down the other hallway that is not wet.
Yes, and down that one, you see a creature sitting on the ground that looks like this. He looks like a cube.
Oh, it's a new one. These ones are
He's his back
favorite.
to you. He's just a cube.
Excuse me.
There is an
I
enemy.
bet
Yeah, go ahead.
I bet this tunnel is worse than the other one.
At least it's not wet.
All right, so Sildaris, as you walk up to this creature, you see that it has a bunch of tiny little cubes, right? And it's stacking them as it mutters under its breath, and then they tumble to the ground, and and then tries to stack them again. It seems to be trying to stack them, and you see then that it has a tiny little like hourglass with sand falling through it, and so this creature flips it over and then tries to stack up these 13 little cubes before the sand is out of the hourglass, and it's not able to do it. It keeps failing. Sand runs out, or it accidentally knocks them over before the sand it can't do it before the sand is out. So then every time it stops and it knocks them down, starts over, and just keeps doing this. It seems engrossed in this activity.
I'll lean down, and the bear-like look will leave my face, and I'll be back to the kind, loving, not angry Hunter Sildaris, I'll look down and say, "Are you trying to play a game, little buddy? It looks like you're trying to play a game."
So it looks up at you, and then just kind of nods, and then continues its game. Right? It just And no, actually, it looks up at you, and then it gestures it for you to try. Yeah.
Oh,
kind of like,
So Sildaris is super excited. Like the ears start twitching, and Sildaris will sit down, crisscross applesauce, and be like, "Okay," and like goes for but then stops and motions for it to flip the hourglass.
It looks up. Excellent. It goes like this.
3, 4,
and then flips it.
4. Oh,
after 4 times.
And I'll give it a go.
Okay, so sleight of hand, dexterity sleight of hand check.
Okay. I will find my character sheet. There it is.
All right. So you manage. It's stacking the 13 blocks in 6 seconds in one round, and you are like, you managed to pull it off, right? And you lay the 16th block or the 13th block right on top, just as the sand falls through, and it goes. And then it picks them up and the hourglass and hands them to you. Like, here, you can have it.
Okay. And then I'm gonna give it a hug.
It just stands there.
But it doesn't turn into dust.
No, in this case, it just stands there until you're done hugging. How long does the hug go here? It doesn't hug you back.
It doesn't hug back. So it'll go about 2.5 seconds.
Okay. So
just
after
brief, and then look back and be like, and then hold hands out.
And then it goes, and then it opens his mouth and burps really loudly, and out of its mouth come 13 little cubes and a little hourglass, and it sits back down and it starts doing it again.
I guess that's how it hugs.
And so now it's just back doing its game, trying to do it itself.
You know gamers, you know how they are. So I'll just put the cubes in my pocket.
All right. Here's something that's interesting about these cubes now that they're in your hand. They are made of tiny clockwork gears, and they are warm to the touch.
Ooh.
And if you put one near your ear, you hear the little whir of a mechanism inside.
Ooh, it keeps rhythm.
Sildaris can finally dance.
No, Sildaris can't dance. Sildaris has no coordination for such things. He can hardly walk. Let's put those cubes back in the pocket and continue.
All right. So you walk up to the next room, and in this room, it's a very familiar, plain old-fashioned cube. And at the far end is a stone pedestal, and in it is a cubicle-shaped stone box with a lid, kind of a heavy stone lid. It has it's like closed with like a stone latch.
Anthemina would like to inspect it for traps.
Okay.
I was about to be like, Grandpa goes, I can do that.
Before you touch that, I think I have this cantrip. Pretty sure I have this cantrip.
Guidance, perhaps? What do we do?
No. Resistance.
That's
Saving throw.
also good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be careful, and then I step back. Okay, go up. Be careful. Step back.
All right.
I tend to be.
So I will say go ahead and make an investigation check. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead. So Sildaris, while Anthemina is doing that, you notice on the ground there are some grains of sand scattered here and there on the ground around you. Anthemina, you don't see any traps or any sign of any traps on the outside of this box.
It seems to be clear.
You hear that?
outside.
What are you hearing?
Do me a favor, Antamina. Move your feet over the ground.
Antamina will do that.
You hear a sound of kind of grit underneath your feet. You know, the
Do
scrape.
you hear that?
I do. What do you suppose it means?
I don't know. You're the smart one.
I know this. At the College of Caterwauling, my brother went there. They put this on the ground so they can dance better.
I totally thought you were going to make a kitty litter joke, but okay.
No,
I was waiting for that too.
I'm not uncouth.
I apologize for assuming.
I'm okay with uncouth.
Antamina will just sift through the sand to make sure that it's not hiding something on the ground around it, perhaps. Do another investigation.
Sure. Yeah.
Dancing.
Ooh.
Oh, 23. Okay, so here's what you don't see anything in the sand, right? But you notice that the sand is in 4 kind of discrete areas. You know, kind of like, imagine like the kind of one in the northwest quadrant, one in the northeast quadrant, one in the southwest, and one in the southeast. And you glance up, and there seem to be 4 very subtle squares outlined in the ceiling above those 4 spots.
In an hourglass.
Seams on the ceiling.
Oh.
Ursula
boy.
doesn't know that, but Jessica's curious.
So, yeah, Antamina will point out the ceiling tiles or the squares on the ceiling.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how this mechanism will activate, but we should be as careful as possible.
I actually stepped back out of the chamber as soon as that's pointed out.
All right.
Is there something above my head right here? I'm peeing that spot.
Actually, no. It looks this just like a normal archway. If you'd like to roll investigation to check that, you can. But just based on your passive abilities, you just glance up. Nothing appears unusual there. If you're going to spend a moment to actually do, it looks, here you do notice that in this section, the dwarven stonework, or maybe it's Modron, you're not even sure at this point, seems to have resumed its more rational pattern that it sometimes is intermittently has and loses throughout just this floor. But, all right, so you've got a stone box that's closed in front of you, and there's no markings on the outside of it. You've got 4 seams that suggest maybe trapdoors, maybe something up there, and there's sand below each one.
My intuition tells me that something might come pouring out of there if we do something bad, and I don't know. I don't see any way to seal us up in here or anything like that, but
I think everyone should step out of the room.
That is wise.
I will open the chest.
Wait. If you're going to open the chest, then I run forward and touch Great Paw instead and give resistance. Sorry, Antamina, and then run back out.
I'll come back here.
Okay.
I'll look back, and I'll take my stick, jam it into the ground, and it will grow and blossom and bloom into a very delightful apple tree that fills the entrance. And
Can
I'll
I
reach
still
up and
get
pick an
out?
apple, and I'll start eating the apple, and I'll watch what Great Paw does.
Ooh, can I have one?
Is it blocking the whole entrance?
You should be able to squeeze past it.
Okay. Because if this fills up with sand right quick, that could be a problem for me.
So Siddharth is more worried that it's going to close.
Got it.
But if the tree is there, it shouldn't close.
Right.
I'll give you a worthy funeral. A worthy funeral.
If we could find her body. Want an apple?
You don't need that. There are
Great
rights
Paw.
for bodiless dead.
Great Paw is going to crouch down as he's like preparing to bolt out the door and open the chest.
Okay. So the lid is heavy. It weighs maybe 20, 30 pounds.
Okay.
You pull it open, and then nothing happens. Inside is one of the lodestone keys.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. You take it, and did not notice that underneath it there was a glyph that flares up as you lift it away. And the four doors do exactly on the ceiling what you expected. They all suddenly open, and sand begins pouring through at a very rapid rate. Please, you have danger sense, so make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Okay.
And the D4.
Yep, DC 13. Oh, look at you. All right, so you are not knocked prone by this sand that is pouring down. You take only 1d6 of bludgeoning damage, because this is like thousands of pounds of sand pouring out of this thing. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. You get,
Yay.
you know, you are chafed just a little bit by all this sand. It's exfoliating. You are not knocked prone, so you then need to just make a strength check to power through the sand and out of the room, or strength athletics check if you like.
Okay.
All right, that is fine. So you manage to kind of like shove your way through holding this, and by the time you get to the door, it takes you, your full movement to get through the door. The room has filled up like to your like chest or neck level, and it's pouring out into the hallway. And when you finally kind of like break out of it, it fills up, and you cannot see into the room anymore. There's just like such a little avalanche of sand into the hallway. And the quadrone, the six-sided Modron stops and looks up and just starts laughing, and then it shrugs and just keeps doing what it was doing. You do notice as you are escaping that there seem to be a number of skeletons that are mixed in with the sand. If you had to guess, maybe 13.
13.
Of the blocks.
Oh!
Yeah.
So maybe it gets more blocks with the things that die in here.
Oh.
It then
Great Paw's going to pull an apple off the tree and take a bite and say, "Got the thing. Thanks." Just continue on. And almost knock the quadrant over, but not do it. Because it is friends with Soldaris.
Soldaris will shrug. Anybody else want an apple? No?
Yes.
Only if it is not especially sweet.
Is sweet too spicy for you too?
That is one way of putting it.
I think Anthemina is more of a Granny Smith person.
Probably
Maybe
Red Delicious.
is Granny Smith.
Kind of sour.
Actually, she would like the sour, yeah.
So, all right, you have 5 discs now. There's 2 hallways remaining. The southeast. So that one was a cube room, and was
Soldaris will reach out, grab the tree. The tree will shrink back to a staff.
Nice.
And he'll walk back. He'll walk back through. The apple does not taste like anything died to make it.
Okay.
Yeah. Strangely flavorless, Dirk. Yeah.
Anthemina will make it a point to praise Great Paw and say, "That was good work. You did well."
Just doing my job.
I'm very glad I didn't have to see a bodiless funeral today.
Yet.
That can be quite a spectacle.
I will not die unless it is victoriously. And there is no victory or glory in being crushed to death by sand. So I knew it was not my time.
All right, fair enough. So you have 2 hallways. The hallway with the liquid, and then another hallway that just kind of bends out of sight. You assume, probably by now, that there might be a disc down one or both of them. You only need 1 left to open the door.
Great Paw votes for not liquid.
Yeah, Anthemina is eager to not figure out what that liquid is. In a way, she's curious, but she'd rather not bark up that tree, so to speak.
Ooh, another room.
So when you get about there, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. Great Paw and Anthamina.
All right.
Do I have advantage?
No, you don't see this one.
Okay.
Dang.
Okay, so Great Paw, yes. Okay, so Anthamina, you slip and fall. There is a very thin coat of transparent oil on the floor here. So you are.
Do I take any damage?
No, you just fall prone. And Great Paw, you slide in it, but you don't fall. But one thing that Sildaris and Dirk, Dirk has entered too. Okay, so Dirk, go ahead and make that saving throw. Sildaris is just on the cusp of it and hasn't entered.
Wait, no, I'm right here.
Yep, it's in the whole hallway.
Yep, yeah, I went in there. Okay, dexterity saving throw?
Yes, please. DC 15.
I give myself resistance. As soon as I stop something, I'm like, ah!
Resistance won't help that.
Does not matter.
Okay, so Dirk, you are prone as well. But as you step on the floor and start to slide around, there is, again, a little rumble. And behind you, Sildaris, you see this. The wall behind you, so I'm talking about up here, if everyone can see where I'm pinging, erupts in flame, and then that wall just starts sliding towards you. This way. So, yes. So a wall of flame erupts from the wall directly behind you, and moves down the hallway of oil. It stretches floor to ceiling, wall to wall. It's coming down through the oiled area. So Sildaris, you can make a dexterity saving throw to jump back to the hallway before you, like behind you over here, if you want.
So I was afraid that might happen because I noticed that the first place we went was smoky air as a threat. And then there was the unusual water, which I'm not sure what it was, but it could have been acid. And then there was the earth trap. And we're going through the 5 elemental essences. This is fire. So the next one's going to be cold, if my hypothesis is correct. But all of that needs to be thought of after I jump out of the way of the fire. Here's to hoping.
All right, so you do manage to escape. That is exactly the number you needed. So you do not take any fire damage. As this thin wall, when it passes you, it's paper thin. It is just moving, but you'll notice it's also burning off the oil as it goes. So it's like just scouring the walls, and you actually can see that there's oil on walls, floor, and ceiling. So it's moving quite quickly. So Dirk, you need to make a saving throw, but because you're prone, you and Anthamina are gonna have disadvantage. Great Paw, you actually have advantage because you can see it coming.
I have a question.
Yes.
As soon as Anthamina fell, Great Paw's instinct was to try and pull her back up. Does he have time to do that?
I'm going to say if you give up your advantage on the saving throw.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
If I'm close enough to her.
Yeah, you could step over there and do that, let's say. I'm fine with that.
I'll do that.
Because I was a little slow to tell everyone to stop moving their tokens when you entered the hallway. So I just looked over. I was looking at the text for a minute. I'm like, oh, you're already almost through. Hold on.
Okay.
So all right.
Give up my advantage.
So Dirk makes does not make the saving throw because of disadvantage being prone. But I need one from Anthamina and Great Paw. So Anthamina makes it thanks to being even without Great Paw's help. But Great Paw,
Great Paw would have failed either way.
Yeah, either way. So so what happens is that Dirk and Great Paw
are on fire.
Yeah, you're on fire. You take 11 points of fire damage. And what this means basically is that the fire not only burns you, but it catches the oil all over you on fire. Right? So it burns you for a little bit more, whereas Anthamina, you only take 5 points of damage, half.
And does that mean I'm not on fire?
You're not on fire, yeah. So what happens now is that the fire reaches the doorway and then just puffs out. And so you're able to put the fire out for a second, but then you hear a rumble and the wall behind you ignites again, and it slowly starts coming again. But you now have enough time to try to run forward and get into the room if you like.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
How much movement do I
But in
have?
order to do that, you'll need to make those dex saves once more to make sure you don't
Oh
fall.
God.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
goodness.
Okay.
Oh,
So Anthony
no.
falls again.
Okay.
But you're very close to the door. And Great Paul could drag her if you wanted.
Yeah.
Come on, dexterity loser.
Did I make my deck save?
Great Paul did. Dirk didn't.
And I will drag Anthemina.
Okay. So Dirk, you're gonna take. So you can make it now. You get another save against the fire. So
Okay,
it's 2 dex saves, right? The oil and the fire.
So wait, question.
Dirk is too far. I can't help them.
Yeah. Question.
Sorry.
Yes.
So I stood up and tried to run,
Yes.
but then fell again.
Right. You can be
And
5
then-
foot forward if you want to be.
Okay, yes, please.
Yeah.
And let's try this dexterity save again.
The magic number here is 12, just in case, or 13. I mean,
Soldarius,
is 13.
help Dirk.
So you could run after the fire, and it wouldn't burn you. Just so you know.
How much damage did I just take?
It's
I'm about
2d10.
I'm about to die. I'm not gonna die.
You'll be fine.
Well, it was
2d10.
14. So now, Sildaris, you can run after it, and what you notice now that you've spent 2 rounds on the floor here, Dirk, is that the oil gets burned off, and then it just kind of like immediately kind of regrows. It's like whoop, and then the oil burns off. But that means that Sildaris, and there's a moment actually right after the fire. So if you were to hold your action till right after the fire, you could run without having to make a dexterity saving throw.
That isn't the best way I can think to do it.
Save me. I don't care how you
I'm
do it.
saving Dirk. And so I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. I'm going to go, hoo-hoo, and I'm going to dive in, slip and slide style. And I'm going to slide down the hallway. And with my significant mass,
Yes.
I'm going to bump into Dirk, and we're both going to slide unceremoniously.
Absolutely, you are. Please make
Into
an
the-
athletics check to make sure you see how well you shuffleboard Dirk down the hallway.
If Grandpa sees this, he will be ready at the end to catch.
This is like the world's best game of shuffleboard here.
I didn't take any damage in the combats, but now this fire is fucking me up.
All right, that's good enough because that's awesome.
I'm not going to fall.
Yeah, right. You're already prone. So you push
already
off the wall, you get a couple steps of run, and then you just throw yourself at the hallway. And this is very slick grease. So magical oil. So you go sliding down this and bump right into Dirk, and the two of you skid right behind the fire as it recedes. And you hear the thump of it reigniting at the other end, but you both are able to get into this far room.
Ah.
And Sildaris will lay on his back and then just start laughing.
I need a rest. I need a rest.
Lap the ground.
Anthemina will be putting people out as necessary.
When I wanted to avoid the water, I did not think this was a better alternative.
I
would have left my torch lying on the ground at the top, so I have no light.
Yeah. Fortunately, Anthemina has one. Let's or you guys could very easily light another one. You each probably, anyone with torches comes with 10 usually. In this room, there is a strange creature that looks like 2 cubes, or not quite cubes. If you want to be, they're rectangular prisms. If you want to talk fancy talk, connected by a weird gear spring in the middle. And his bottom legs are facing away from you. The top half spins around, so its head is facing directly behind it. And it looks at you, and it smiles, and it waves, and it says some stuff in Modron to you. But, of course, no one speaks Modron.
Anthemina will say, "Hail, friend," in Dwarven or what have you.
And then it
She will
says,
say, "Speak, friend."
Oil the hallway, clean the dodecahedron. Oil the hallway, clean the dodecahedron. And around you, you see that this is a 12-sided room. You walked in. So imagine if you set a 12-sided die in the ground and then drilled a hole in like the angle at the bottom. So you're walking onto the bottom little side, the side that's resting on the bottom. That's your floor. And then around you, it kind of goes up like this, and then goes up like this, and then goes up like this, and then there's a ceiling above you. So it's like this. It's like walking into a, like a Buckminster Fullerene or one of those weird, I don't know what else those are called. Geodesic domes or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this creature is just talking about, it has a little jug of oil, and it is going over to the wall, and there's a little hole there, and it holds it up, and just oil just continuously pours out of this bottle, and keeps pouring, and then it stops, and it tips it back, and it stands there, and then it walks around, and just has it's like checking the walls here, making sure. Actually, what it does is it comes behind all of you, and it has a little rag on it, and it's cleaning up the oil that you've trailed into the room. And it's just doing its job. In the center of this room, there is a plain pedestal, atop of which just sits a lodestone, and the pedestal has 12 sides. It's like a little 12-sided shape. So this Modron
Dirk
seems to
gets
be
the honors.
Yep.
I think Dirk earned that key.
Yep. Dirk took the.
Are you hurting, Dirk?
Yes. Can we take a short rest?
I don't see why not.
All right.
I'm hurting deeply.
So the duodrone, while you're there, if you will allow it, will not only clean all the oil up off of the ground, but it will try to wipe you guys off too. So it has this very absorbent medieval Dungeons and Dragons ShamWow or something, right? Where it just continually is able to absorb oil magically. It never ends in its ability to clean up the oil. Just as its bottle seems never to run out of oil that it refills this trap with. And it's just happily doing its job.
Anthamina is highly curious about that that oil jug.
Okay. Well, it looks like a plain jug. It's made out of the same brass material that the creature seems to be partially made out of. It's like a little ewer or pitcher, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever the creature pours it, it has to uncork. There's like a rubber cork, and then it pours it, glug, 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 and then it corks it back up. And then it pulls out its little cloth and polishes things up. This room is quite clean, and it seems quite clean, and it seems quite satisfied in just going about and cleaning things up and just doing
I try and take the jug.
All right. So Dirk, it's not particularly strong, and it's not expecting you to do so. So you grab it, and it looks at you, and then it looks over it, and then it says in Dwarvish, you can hear this, Anthony, oil the hallway. Keep the dodecahedron clean. Oil the hallway. Oil the hallway. And now it's pointing at you, and it's pointing at the wall. Like, go. And then it says, monodrone. Points at you. Oil the hallway. Keep the dodecahedron clean. So it seems to be trying to assign you a task as though you are below it in rank.
Oh, snap.
But I don't understand that because I don't understand Dwarven.
That's true. Anthamina will go over and say it wants us to oil the hallway. I don't know what you think of that, but I can take that assignment on if you prefer, and offers to take the jug.
I think the hallway is oiled enough.
I don't think we should oil it anymore. I think we should stop oiling it so that we can get back out of here.
I suppose that's true, but what should we do if this thing gets agitated?
Or we can pretend to be oiling the hallway.
Actually, that's a rather good idea. So Anthamina will make a big display of uncorking it, but then quietly cork it back and then start pretending to pour the oil and see if that satisfies this Modron.
All right, so I think go ahead and do a sleight of hand check.
Not my best, but let's give it a shot.
Plenty good. Yeah, it says oil the hallway. Oil the hallway. It's quite satisfied. And in fact, it crosses its arms, self-satisfied, like, that's right. I don't have to oil the hallway anymore. You oil the hallway.
Okay, so someone should go and activate that trap so that the oil burns off, and then some of us can run through.
Well, but aren't you wanting to have a short rest and
Yes,
the man that just volunteered to do this for the next hour?
Don't we want to take the key? The key with the hands.
I need a rest. We have to do a rest. Or if I need a rest, we have to do a rest, or I will not survive another trip through that fire.
Grandpa just goes up and picks up the key because he's confused as to why no one has done this yet.
Yes,
You
you
now
got
have
the key,
you now have a 6th key.
but we need to rest.
Well, here, Anthamina will. Oh, yeah. You, Dirk, you can receive healing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anthamina will give a curative oil for 21 points of hit points.
Okay, so we're doing that instead
Holy
of.
shit.
Okay, if we're doing that. Okay.
I figure that might be a little bit quicker, and if we needed to
Holy
take a short
shit.
rest,
That.
then we can do it in the other room with the tridrone or whatever that thing is called.
Okay then. Yes. All right. But yes. So who volunteer? And I look over at Great Paw.
I can get out.
You're the strongest of us. Yeah, have the thing do it, and then you're the beefiest of us, and then we'll run behind it.
What am I doing?
Activate the fire trap, so the oil will be gone.
It just does it.
Has it been doing it this whole time?
No, after you left the hallway, the fire stopped. So it only is
That was kinda
activated
what
when
I
you're in
thought.
the hallway.
Okay.
So if you step back in the hallway, it reactivates and it begins burning the oil towards you. If you wait a second, step back in the room, it will burn all the oil off and then reset. And then you could just run.
And then we run.
Yeah.
Dash. We just make a dash for it.
Yeah, you could do that.
And Anthamina is continuing to do the same thing, pretending to pour the oil, just
'Cause
as necessary.
And because it's only 50 feet from where your location is to the turn in the hallway, yeah, you could dash and get past it before, if you intend in advance to dash, right? You know what I mean? If you just say, let's do it all at once, triggered action or whatever, you could all get through. Yep, that's the
Okay.
plan.
I was gonna say I would like to dash and
Right.
trigger the trap, I guess, at the very end so it burns off and then they have a chance to dash.
Yeah, I mean, so
Is that what needs to happen?
the short answer is you could step into it, activate the fire, and then just step back into the room.
And
Okay.
then run some more.
Right. That's one.
Okay.
I thought that's what you were or Dirk was suggesting, but
That's exactly.
that makes
what
more
I-
sense. I was gonna do it backwards.
yeah.
I was
'Cause
like, I'm gonna dash.
Because if you dash, then you got to make the deck save again. If you make
Yeah.
the deck save, then you're fine. But if you don't, you burn a little.
Yeah. Okay. I will do that.
All right. But there's no more oil to be replenished. So after the fire burns off the oil, it's going. And he just says, "Oil the hallway" in Dwarvish. Oil the hallway, and then you guys all just run. Oiled with the oil decanter in your hand. And it starts running after you. Oil the hallway, but it gets to the edge and it just stops. It stops at the threshold. And it's just yelling in Dwarvish. Oil the hallway.
I'll Soldaris will go back, reach out, take the magic ShamWow, and then scrub the floor in front, and then just keep walking with the ShamWow.
And it says, oil the hallway and keep the dodecahedron clean. It's just shouting that over and over again in ever higher degrees of frustration with you. Thieves.
Anthamina will say in Dwarven, your new duty is to be at ease.
It continues to shout. You
Oh,
are
I
its
guess-
inferior, you may recall. You are
Yeah,
Momo
evidently.
Drums. If only you were
no.
shaped like a pyramid, you could give it an order.
Oh, maybe we got to bring the other thing over here to tell it to stop.
So you have all, I'm assuming, now left the room. I'll go ahead and move you guys back over here. Okay, so rests can be taken if you like. Basically, the tridrone is, as long as you can leave it pinned under the grate for as long as you like. It's just not able to get up there. There is this big door that has the 6 keys in it. There's one hallway you didn't go down, but you don't need to because you have 6 keys. Because you figured out you were very thorough in your explorations upstairs, and you figured out how to get the one out of the bottom of the drain. So there is a door. We're gonna, just in case you're wondering, we will end up. I was figuring I'd take you through this door, and then we would stop for the session because you're very near the end. So, what would you like to do?
We will systematically set the keystones in and wait for the door to open.
All right. with
That I guess after the short rest.
Yeah, so you're able to take a rest if you need. That's fine. There are no creatures here that are going to be hunting you and looking for you. So you put the discs in, and each one snaps into place with the strong power of the magnets. But with the sixth one, the door cracks open, just like it did upstairs. Except now, rather than before, where there was a hiss of air and then the smell was very musty, like it had been enclosed air, and it had almost no smell besides just age. Now the smell is of rot, decay, and the hallway in front of you stretches just out of sight. But were you to move just a little farther down, you would see that there is a spiral stair at the end of this hallway.
No.
Descending. Yes.
There's more to do.
Just a bit more.
Let's go to the bad smell.
All right.
And root it out.
So we will move you here to the last. Well, you don't know this, but it is indeed the last level. So let me.
This looks like a boss fight room.
Let me describe here. At the bottom of the stairs, there's a doorway that opens into a large cylindrical room. So this is not a circular room; it's a cylinder, right? The ceiling is about 50 feet high. There are 7 hallways off of the top half of this room, but each hallway is 10 feet up in the air. 20 feet up, right? So you're at the floor, 20 feet up, there's a hallway that just comes out into the middle of the air. And then there's, another 20 feet of ceiling above it. So it's right in the middle. There's a ring of 7 hallways, but they're 20 feet up. There's some junk laying around here, stacks of crate, and at the angle, it looks like those 7 hallways go, and at least in a couple of them from the angle, it looks like they go a short distance into some sort of rooms, like small rooms at the end of each one. There's an awful odor of rotting flesh filling the air here. What would you like to do?
Do we see rotting flesh anywhere?
No, you don't, but it is definitely smellable here. Pardon me while I move tokens.
I don't like that.
Oop, sorry, that was me.
Head on in.
All right.
Yeah, we will go carefully.
All right. So as you head in,
walk around the outskirts, because that's what we did in the last circle room.
So as you head in, something you hear or you notice movement from the northeast. Let me show you what ambles out. It's this.
$90 says it's a flesh golem.
No!
No!
Gonna say flesh golem up.
That's
all
really
right.
cool art, though.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
That's James Denton. I commissioned this for this piece, for this adventure, because he's awesome.
I'm just gonna go back upstairs. Dirk is like, no.
It is.
Just kidding. Can't leave undead.
It is an undead. It's a beholder zombie. So maybe at that point we should call the session for today.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, to be honest, maybe we should. It's up to you all. If you'd like to do the boss fight, you can, because this is like the end of the adventure, actually. So probably would. What do you think? I don't want to keep people too long. How are we doing on time?
I'm okay.
Vic, I don't. If you gotta go, that's totally cool.
1 second, I do have to use the restroom, and I can get an answer.
Okay, no problem. While you're going, I'm going to show off to my good friends, the players, as well as the folks at home. I just want to show you what these. I love. You haven't gotten a chance to see these maps in their wholeness.
Wait, I just saw Sappho.
Yeah, Sappho was the name.
Sappho's on screen.
Yeah, Sappho is the name of the frog. That was the name that Sildaris gave the giant toad that he befriended.
I was like, I just see black screen, but I see Sappho the frog somewhere.
So ideally, that might not have worked. Let me fix this. I need to get rid of that and that. Let's try that. And there. Can everybody see the whole map now?
Yeah.
So if you zoom out, you can see the whole map. This was level 1.
Ooh, that's cool.
So if you remember, the Etten room is the southeast, and the Black Pudding room was the southwest, and the vaults in the south central, and then there's that big great hall that had water on one side, and the rat room and stuff like that.
Oh, there was a giant goat?
Yeah, well, that's only in there because I load up the maps with every creature that might be in there. If you guys were higher level, if there were 5 of you instead of 4, that's it adds. He has a pet goat, and in fact, when you walk in, the argument that the creature's having is about with the 2 heads with whether to eat the goat or let it get more seasoned.
Oh.
All right. Whoa, what?
So I just was showing off the map. This is the first level that you missed.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And then I was going to show off the second map too, which you guys just finished because it's such a fun map.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
How's time? How are you doing?
I'm all set to play. Me and my girlfriend have a date after this, but I just was like, hey, be cool pushing it back a little bit. So all set.
Awesome. So this is, can you see this? If you zoom out now, this is the second map.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can see that what Alita did such a good job with this because I told her, I'm like, oh no, this is weird, but the rooms look like dice, you know? Or
we missed the D20 room.
You didn't go into the D20 room. That's right.
Missed the D20
because
room.
yes, that was acid. Yes, it was.
Oh.
In the also important to note, because I was looking at all the details because they're so beautifully done. Your art designer hid a Triforce.
Yes.
In one of the rooms. And in the
I see it now.
There is one Triforce in it, just there for you people to see as an Easter egg.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, she did a great job, and I was describing this to her, and I'm like, okay, so I wrote like an art order, for this, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, but yeah. So the heavenly solids is a reference to like an old-fashioned mathematical idea that there are special heavenly or platonic solids, and these are the shapes. You'll notice I skipped the D10 because that's not one of them. It's the 4 or 6, the 8, the 12, and the 20.
Oh.
And they're each in old-fashioned ideals related to elements and all kinds of stuff. So that's
gotcha.
I geek out about this stuff. And then I'm going to show up, since you know what you're fighting now, I'm going to reveal what this final map looks like, because this one is, James Denton also did this map. If you zoom out, they tried to make the perfect shape after they started serving.
It looks like a beholder.
After they started serving their new master, the beholder. So they made a beholder-shaped room.
Oh, babies.
I know, right? So
these poor things.
On that note,
I love them.
I know
There's
great.
an electrocution room.
yes, there are. We can talk about that if you survive, which you probably will because you have a cleric with you. All right, so
if things get hairy, I can always do turn undead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is one of those, like, I have a backup. I even suggest in the adventure, because this is going to be for publication, if you have a cleric in your party and don't want them to nerf the final boss with turn undead, you could use a Gauth. But I'm like, that's fine. So, all right. Go ahead and let's go ahead and do this. It might be a quick battle, and that's fine because we're short on time. I wasn't sure because there are a couple of those puzzles that you could have spent a lot of time on, so I didn't know. Oh, the Beholder Zombie rolled a 1 on his initiative, or a 0 rather. So you might get the jump on him.
Nice.
Sucks to suck.
All right, that's Master Gaiax there.
Oh.
All right, Anthamina, you're up. This hideous creature. Here's something you got to recognize about this though. It's 20 feet up. It floated out of those tunnels 20 feet up. And then it's just looking down at you, and its eye is all cloudy, and its tentacles are kind of limply moving around, all 7 of them. What would you like to do?
I will go ahead and use Acid Splash. That seems to have been serving me pretty well.
All right. So let's roll its dexterity saving throw. No.
Woo.
All right, so it takes the acid. Burns it, seems to burn it effectively, just as effective as anything else might.
And that is my turn.
Great Paw. It's hard to get at this creature 20 feet up.
It is. Who am I near? Okay, I'm near Anthamina. But I can't do that yet. So first, I would like to rage.
Absolutely.
And then I'm going to throw my busted hand axe at this thing.
Yes. I think that's going to hit. Yes, that just hits. for
Cool.
10. All right.
And now I will throw my unbusted hand axe at it.
And now,
Ooh.
crit. So that's 6 plus 5 is 11, 13. All right. So 2 hand axes fly through the air, thunk, but that second one catches it in the side of its great, cloudy, opaque eye, and, horrid goo is now dripping out of it, is where the axe, that sort of thing. Good shot, great paw. You can move if you like. Sildaris, it is your turn.
Sildaris will trace a circle on the ground with the staff, and then a small little, impish looking fae will roll out like a rock and untumble and look up and wave, and Sildaris waves at it. And I've got a healing spirit that's located right here. So if you want to get near that little rock fae, it'll heal you. It might pull a prank on you, but it'll heal you.
All right.
And I will take one of those heals from it because I'm hurting.
All right.
Wait, didn't we take a short rest up at the top?
We
Wasn't
did.
that the plan?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just leave it there.
Okay.
So I'll just put this out here. It's not actually a pixie, but just so you know where it is.
It works.
All right. So you cast Healing Spirit, and you can take some of those heals if you like. Dirk, it is your turn. There is an undead beholder here, staring languidly down at you, the remnants of malice in its rotting form.
All right. I'm gonna move right here. I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon at 3rd level, my last 3rd level spell slot
right.
for the day.
Oof.
Let's get that mace out here.
Ugh. And then as my action,
Yes.
I'm gonna do Sacred Flame,
All right.
which is DC 13 Dexterity saving throw. And a bonus action, I will also attack with the Spiritual Weapon, but
Yes. So dexterity saving throw for the Sacred Flame. Fail. And
Yes!
that's the attack. So hit and success. So go ahead and roll the damage for that. Wow. So 22 points of damage. It's not vulnerable to the radiant, but it is affected. So wow, good
I'm gonna
hit.
fix that.
Nice.
All right.
Very good.
It is going to get a turn before you slaughter this creature. So
Come down here and fight me like a cat.
as you'd expect, it takes 4 of its tentacles, its eye stalks, wiggle around and aim around at you. So it's going to be random. We're going to do, I'm just looking at the initiative order. Anthemina, Great Paw, Sildaris, Dirk. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1d4 is whom it is aiming at. It is aiming at Dirk.
No.
And let's roll to see which eye it's going to do. 3. Okay.
I knew it was gonna get me.
All right.
I had such hopes it would be me.
So you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh
DC
god, oh god.
14.
You know what? It's fine. It's
Can
fine.
you give yourself guidance?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's an action, alas.
Oh, yeah.
That makes it.
Hey,
Ah!
Oh, and that actually rolled really low. That's
So I
actually
take half of that?
you take half of that. You take 12. That's all you take. Like
Yeah!
if you roll, like if you take the average, look at it. It's in the spell. It's
Yeah.
36.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
only rolled
that
25.
I'd be done. That's like all of my hit points.
Yeah, you would
in
drop to
one
0.
hit.
You wouldn't kill you, but you drop. If now the
Yeah.
good news is, if I had rolled a 4 on that second D4,
Uh-huh.
that's the disintegration ray.
Oh god. I need to move. I don't need to be out in this.
Anthemina, you are up.
All right. I guess I am going to acid splash it once again. A little bit more damage this time. Hopefully
Yes.
it works. I am banking on its low, probably
Yes.
low dexterity. Yes.
If it does work. All right.
8
So
damage.
It sizzles, and you can see now its flesh is starting to drip. Its rotten flesh is dripping off of it and splatting onto the ground. Sorry if it's too much. Let me know.
No, I love it.
Okay.
I'm just.
Okay, good. I couldn't tell if that was a good squirm or a bad. All right. Great Paw, it is your turn. Anthamina has continued to rot and like burn through this creature's body after this awful ray, this awful, in fact, what color is its enervation ray? It doesn't say. I'm going to say this awful green ray has shot out of it and struck Dirk, sizzling into his body. But what are you going to do? How many more hand axes do you have?
Is it still floating 20 feet in the air?
It is, alas. It's not. It may be undead, but it's not old habits die hard.
But not unintelligent. Okay, since I am right next to Anthamina, and she usually has a lot of vials on her, I kind of want to grab one of those vials and just smash it to the ground, if possible, or just rip off some of her clothing. Not her clothing, her cape. That sounded really bad.
You can take a vial.
I will smash a vial, ideally an empty one.
All right.
Before throwing my javelin at this thing.
Yes.
And I will do it recklessly.
Yes. Oh, come on, get that crit.
Here we go. That's a hit. Not quite a crit though. Do you have another javelin?
I don't. Okay. So instead, what I'm going to do
still 10 points of damage though.
Is try and run up to it and leap in the air and hit it with my warhammer. If I can do that.
So how tall are you? You're 6 feet tall, roughly?
I'm 6'5".
Okay, so the way it works is with a run, I believe you can run, you can jump your strength modifier of height, but does that sound right? That seems awfully small. Oh, I'd have to look at the rules.
I'm a cat. I can jump really high.
Let's say, I can never remember this. So, because the horizontal jump is different than I'm curious now if you don't mind. High jump is 3 plus. That's what it was. Okay, 3 plus if you move at least 10 feet. So, what's your strength?
My strength is 16.
So you could get your feet 6 feet off the ground. You're 6 feet tall, that's 12. Your arms sticking out a couple feet, you're a couple feet short. Unless you had something to jump off of. Now, I did mention there were crates laying around.
Oh, yeah.
So, I know they're not in the picture, but I mentioned it in the description. So, if you want to try to jump off of one, it's going to require an athletics check because they're old, rotten.
I will do
crates.
that.
But let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm going to say you can do it with disadvantage.
Okay.
You're attacking recklessly though, so it's a straight roll.
Oh, okay. That was still just a 10.
Yeah, that's just to jump. So now go ahead. You succeed. You jump. Jump poorly, but what that means is you're attacking with disadvantage because of the poor jump. Straight roll. But because it's reckless, okay, you hit for 6 more. All right. So you jump up off this crate that breaks as you jump, and you're kind of tumbling forward through the air, but your axe does cut a gouge across its underside, and it kind of moans.
And by the way, that was a 19 on the dice.
Yeah, it was.
That's a crit because of your smash.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll.
Should I add another D4?
Another D10.
Oh yeah, right. It's 4. Haha.
3 more. All right. All right. So it is looking rough. This thing is starting to fall apart.
Thank you, Anthamina.
Yeah, no kidding. Good call. Good call. Every little bit helps.
I had to remind you.
So
thank you for reminding me what the ability that I wrote does.
So you see Great Paw charge forward, throws a javelin, charges forward, leaps off of this broken crate, kind of awkwardly flops through the air, but manages to hit with the rage that only a stray can muster after smashing some things. And then crashes to the ground, not prone, just lands awkwardly on the ground underneath it after cutting a gash right across the bottom of it. Sildaris, this creature's still floating there. It's falling apart, but its stalks are beginning to turn again, looking for another target.
Oh boy.
So Sildaris looks back. Dirk got really badly hurt with that necrotic ray. And he looks up and he wants to attack the beholder zombie, but he can't. Not all his friends are suffering. So he looks back and he motions at the little rock fairy. The rock fairy whistles, and then you're surrounded, Dirk, by 10 little rock fairies. And they begin running up and smacking your legs and shooting little slingshots at you. And you get a Balm of the Summer's Court.
Oh,
To the old gods.
The
So
dream druid.
you get back 2 hit points from that bonus action from Balm of the Summer Court. Sildaris will walk up, put a hand on your shoulder and say, "Do your new god's will."
Aww.
And take a Cure Wounds.
Aww.
Because I know this is important for you.
All right.
9 more healing.
Oh God, that's excellent.
And do what you got to do. That's the end of my turn.
All right, Dirk.
All right, so I'm about to hopefully wreck this. I'm gonna use my Channel Divinity, my Cleric one, Path to the Grave. As an action, you choose run creature you can see within 30 feet, which is that fucker, cursing it until the end of your next turn. The next time any ally of yours hits the cursed creature with an attack, the creature has vulnerability to all of that attack's damage, and then the curse ends.
All right. So it is super vulnerable.
Super
Yes.
vulnerable, and I'm gonna shout, "Kellenborg damns you!" And then I'm going to roll the spiritual weapon, please. Yes, it hits.
And that damage, go ahead and describe it. That's enough.
Well,
And
as
oh, yeah, go ahead.
as I shout, "Kellenborg damns you!" and point at it, it's like a beam of it's like holy light, but it's like this like grayish, greenish, like sickly kind of light that you'd associate with like death and stuff, like necrotic-y looking, but not necrotic damage, right? And it beams down on this creature, and it starts to like parts of it start to like flake away just from its like holy radiance of it all, of that curse. And then the mace comes and just catches it in the eye, the undead one, and just bursts and then falls to the ground
With a sickening splat thud. And that is the end of Master Gaiax.
Yeah.
So, for time purposes, so congratulations, team. You've cleared the dungeon. There are a few little mysteries to uncover in the room. So, I'll just quickly summarize, if that's okay with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There are 7 rooms, and you're able to. It takes some work, but there are actually ladders you can find scattered around the place. Some of the Modrons aren't able to fly, after all, so they needed those to get up and down. The first room, going left to right, looks like it was once a beholder's dining room. Modrons would bring rats, giant toads, other such creatures for it to eat, but now there's nothing here but bones and rotting flesh. Room 2, this room, contains a floor-to-ceiling glass mirror and a bronze frame, but it is very old, and now it seems to have been shattered, as if something had struck it in anger very hard. Room 3 contains a sturdy wooden chest with iron banding, untrapped, and it contains rubies and gems and a helm of comprehending languages. Room 4, as you enter, you see a room dressed stone with clumps of silvery crystalline deposits the size of a fist forming in places around the floor, wall, and ceiling. In the middle of the room, floating in the air, is a planar fissure. Well, you don't know what that is. You don't know what that is at first. It's just a thin ribbon of light with a sickly pale gray light emanating out of it. It feels, I'd say that Dirk might be familiar with this. It feels like necrotic energies, or the energies of the negative plane of existence. It seems that the energies emanating from this extraplanar portal are causing adamantite to grow in this room. Now, the dwarves cleared it all out, but a little bit's grown again that you'd be able to recoup. The next room over here is the Beholder's Library, and you find Carandor Blackhelm's diary, as well as the diary of someone named, and with the help of the Helm of Comprehend Languages, you can read. It's written in deep speech, but you can read it. And it's their diary, it's the lab notes of Gyaximus Arnesandratus, the Beholder, and its studies of turning itself into a lich. However, those studies, those attempts failed.
Went horribly wrong.
It did, yes. So Carandor, right? Carandor says that he was prospecting. He discovered a vein of adamant. He hired a few good dwarves to help. He got deep in and discovered a planar fissure. He could feel the power, but it drove him mad. He became incredibly paranoid and believed that the other dwarves were going to steal his money. Being a wizard himself, he figured out how to conjure the perfect workers to serve him. He sent away the two dwarves that were the remaining dwarves that were helping him, and he had the Modrons mine for him and build this place. He took the adamant they had harvested, however, to Waterdeep, and he reports that the merchants in Waterdeep said that the adamant was impure, that it was brittle, that it flaked into powder when they tried to forge with it. So they gave him almost nothing. He gave what little money he had made to his family, and he returned to the fortress. That's the last that entered, or to the mine. That's the last entry of his. Gyax Arnesandratus, however, reports that he shows up through this planar portal, finding rogue Modrons who take orders, which he thought was quite pleasant. And he begins doing research, hoping to use the energy from the negative plane to turn himself into a lich, but the ritual failed. In the last two rooms, one room's empty, and one room has a mono drone being ordered around by a duo drone to polish the mirror. But there's no mirror in this room, and so they're just standing there talking to one another. There's some miscellaneous alchemical equipment here. That is the end of the rooms, and because of the diaries and lab notes, you're able to kind of learn what had happened. Poor Carandor Blackhelm, driven mad by that negative energy pouring out of this tiny fissure to another plane that had, as a byproduct, produced this flawed adamantite. And that means you've achieved the other goal. You've cleared the place. However, the tens of thousands of gold you had hoped is reduced to just a few thousand because this adamantite is impure.
I mean, it's more than I...
So treasures left here are a helm of comprehend languages. There's some healing potions in the alchemical lab, and there is a decanter of endless oil, like the decanter of endless water, but oil. Mm-hmm. The ShamWow, yeah, go ahead. I'll say the ShamWow just can clean up endless oil. That's all it does.
I would love that helm if no one else wants it. However, if anybody else wants it, I'm fine with them getting it.
I could think of no one better to have it than you.
Now I can talk to so many. Well, now I can read different recipes if I'm understanding the spell correctly. That would be nice.
Well, there you go. So that's the Shape of Madness. Thank you for playing, guys. At this
that
point,
was so much fun.
This is so fun.
We do
really
the
cool.
Stars and Wishes. So I know I don't want to keep you too long, Vic. So if you want to go first, go ahead. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Stars loved the theme. As soon as I love Modrones. They're just adorable.
Yeah.
They're just adorable little. I love them. I loved that. It gave me a chance to like really role play like the whole biomechanical thing that Dirk also has. So that was a really fun aspect. Also, I just want to say it again. I really missed y'all playing with y'all. It's been such a great time. It's been the best Saturday so far because of that.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. How about you, Ish?
Yeah, I mean, this was a lot of fun, a lot of great role-playing opportunities, a lot of really neat obstacles that weren't just about fighting a thing. Some of them kind of were, but that was okay. Those were fun as well. But I liked that everybody was willing to think through, was willing to make sacrifices. Everybody was really like willing to help people, pick them back up, and showed that we're not just a disparate mercenaries that we're really like a family, trying to help each other through these difficult times.
Oh, I like that a lot. Jess, what about you?
I loved this adventure. I love Momo Drum so much, like to a stupid extent. So
Yeah, me too.
this was a joy for me. I just want to hug all of them the way that Sildaris got to. I also love beholders. So and I had no idea that they were being controlled by a beholder zombie. So that was so brilliant. That was great. So I loved this, and I love playing with this team. And it's if you're watching this after the fact, you might not know that this has been kind of a rough week in the D&D sphere, but I really needed this, and it's great playing with you all. So thank you. That's all. Oh, and the maps are gorgeous. The art is gorgeous. This is going to be like a wonderful product when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, Alita Saxon did the top 2 level maps, the ones with all the polyhedral dice rooms, and James Denton did the bottom, the Beholder map, and the Beholder, the Beholder zombie art too. So props to both of them for such awesome work. Oh, and then the cover is Bad Moon Art Studio right there. That's the cover art, the Modron Studio. It's like them at work in the workshop building all the contraptions that bothered awesome. You guys. What about you, Connor?
Oh, and like Ish said, I liked how we all got to like show off the different things that we can do to solve the dungeon. I was kind of worried about bringing Great Paw in here because there's not a lot to smash, and he's not very smart and not good at traps, but he is good at throwing himself into danger.
Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't think that he had any problems. Contributing. That was great.
And I love how everybody works together to solve problems in this team. I love playing with y'all.
Yeah, it was a blast. What about you, Connor?
So one of my I've got 2 stars. One of them is, it goes back to what other people said. The art is brilliant. I enjoyed the maps. I adore the cover art. That is so that's just fun there. The Modrons working together in the factory, and that's great. I would love to see more by that artist, because that's just really well done. The other star, I really enjoyed how the adventure started incredibly dungeon crawly. Everything was blocky and dwarven and exactly what you would expect. It's like stepping into Wolfenstein, everything's square and rock and easily anticipated. But as you went further and further, it got more and more bizarre. And so you got to the very bottom, at which point it was just all completely bizarre. And I appreciated that, because that exploration piece fit the narrative very well. So I liked that quite a bit. And I would love to come up with wishes. Right now I'm at a loss to describe wishes, because I'm feeling so good about everything that our group accomplished, and everybody just being awesome. Everybody made me laugh. I laughed so hard I cried at one point. Like, I was literally tearing up because I was laughing so hard. I think it was Anthemina's comment about she would have the flavor of steamed toast. And that was amazing. Because we've gotten to know each other well. We've gotten to know these characters well. And I've come to absolutely adore all of them. Anthemina she's amazing. I would love to meet her in person for about 10 minutes.
No more.
Yeah.
No more than that. Yeah. She wouldn't be much fun at parties. But she's amazing in this story with all the bizarre characters, because she plays that quote unquote straight man role very well from the comedy team.
Absolutely.
That's really great. So I don't have any wishes. I'm sorry. If I can think of any, I'll let you know, Eugene.
No,
right now I'm just smiling and happy.
So I appreciate it. Everything. My stars are just, I love how much joy you all bring to the game. It's just so much fun to play with people that are willing to just let themselves have fun, you know? That's just such a joy. That's like why I do this. So to be able to get to do that is just like, it's such a great high point of the week. And of course, it's always fun. I'm the kind of, I've said this before, I'm the kind of person that like just gets giddy about like, look at this thing I made. I get to show you. And so when people like it, it's very pleasing. I mean, I could talk at length about like, yeah, the Beholder was a I mean, like, I this for me was also a kind of love letter to like my favorite kind of old school dungeons, the like weird funhouse dungeon kind of thing, like White Plume Mountain or something. And so, you know, Gygax and Dave Arneson, so it's Gygax, Arnes Andradas, right, is the Beholder. And I wanted to start with a totally naturalistic first level and then make this turn into bizarre, Modrani business and the. So yeah, that's, you know, it was a lot of fun to make, and it's so much more fun to run because you guys just bring so much joy to it. So thank you for that. All right, so I don't want to take any more time with Vic. Vic has something to do this evening that's important. So I just want to say thank you once again to my wonderful players and to people watching at home. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Yeah, that's it. So I guess I will go ahead and say thank you. We will be back. We got another, the other group is playing on Tuesday. We're playing some D&D. It's called the Inferno Collection, and it is a murder in a fashion house. It's a fashion show mystery. And that could be fun. And then this very group, we have to talk about what we're going to do because we don't have anything else in the schedule. So keep your eyes open. Season 1 is coming to an end. So if anyone has made it to the end, thank you very much. We're going to be ending after about 20 episodes. We'll take a couple-week break and come back with some more programming. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.